This episode of Comics for Fun and Profit is brought to you by Image Comics. Image Comics, we started in the 90s with a bunch of ragtag rebels from Marvel, and we've grown into what you see before you. Hundreds and hundreds of comics released each and every year in a variety of genres, but all kind of supernatural-ish. So, check out Image Comics for incredible variety of comics that are all kind of supernatural-ish. Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is what is this episode? This is episode 751. Jason got the big 750 anniversary episode earlier this week, and I am joined today by Mike Myers of countless podcasts. Mike, how are you today, sir?
I am doing well. It's Friday and the weekend's here.
Yes. Yeah, it was a bear of a work week for me. I don't know about you.
I hit like 45 on Thursday, so I was already dead. Today I was a corpse.
Yeah, they're like at my work, they're like, you got to get the stuff done. So you put the time in, but then they also are like kind of stingy with overtime. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you can't have it. You can't have it both ways.
Overtime is free.
Yeah, I guess I'm just salaried, so whatever, that'll work. But yeah, it was a rough one. So I'm looking forward to a day of comics and TV tomorrow, I believe.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but before that, we need to talk about some comics. And before we talk about comics, how have you been? What's going on in Mike Myers' world? For those that may be listening for the first time and not know you, I'm sure most of our listeners listen to each other's shows, but just in case, tell them who you are and what kind of stuff you do.
I'm Mike Myers. I do podcasting. Been doing it since about 2006.
So it's dial-up.
So I've been around for since the AOL and Prodigy days. No, no, I've been around for a while. Geek Brunch has been probably my longest running podcast. It's known for not as much frequency as yours, but for length. So like it's like a 4-hour podcast on average. So even though we're in the, I think we're going to hit 400 soon. That's a lot of hours of recording. But I do Geek Brunch Retrocast, which is 10 years or older stuff. And Mike M's Weekly Reads, those are the regulars. And then on the DC side, I do DC and Spotlight. So I've done a lot. And then I have 5 or 6 more podcasts that are kind of on hiatus just because of time.
Yeah, like you had a DC everything else, right? That was kind of like the war comics.
Yeah, and I kind of recruited those guys into retro when I can get them, because I can't always do as many podcasts as I'd like. Maybe in retirement, but not in this world. But
I think you do pretty well for full-time gig. Married, you got a life, and you still crank out and guest host on other idiots podcasts like mine. So that's pretty cool.
It's always fun to step out into another realm.
Yeah. We do have a few questions that came in that might be fun to do. I was going to give them to you ahead of time, but I'm like, you're good at just like rolling with it. So if you won your choice of Action Number 1, Amazing 15, or Detective 27, and they were of equal value because of their condition, which one would you choose?
Action Number 1.
Even if it was like a 2.0.
Are they all? I thought they were all equal, the same price.
Yeah, they're equal value, right? So you might get like a 9.8 Amazing, and then your Action might be like a 2.0 because to be equal to the same cost.
Action, it's easy. It's the first superhero non-pulp comic.
You're in for Action. I'm going with Detective 27. Poor Amazing didn't get any love.
I think that would probably be the the better one, but in terms of sellability because of Batman, but I still would go with the history where it all started.
Where it all started. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Who is the most underrated superhero that doesn't get enough respect?
OMAC. That's easy.
That's OMAC. What's that stand for again?
One Man Army Corps.
One Man Army Corps. What's wrong with me? Why do you say that? What's great about him that makes him that people should not sleep on?
Because it's sci-fi that was like way ahead of its time. I mean, and it stands up to this day. I think it's Jack Kirby's best work by far.
How many issues of OMAC?
8 issues.
8 issues total?
Yeah.
But he's made appearances and other stuff, right?
Yeah, different and then different incarnations of them.
Okay.
But the original's Buddy Blank. They have a new one now during the New 52, which was done really well because Keith Giffen and Scott Koblish together look like Jack Kirby.
The original Kirby was only 8 issues, but
Yeah.
he's had other volumes over the years.
John Byrne did a
2
or 3 issue black and white one. He's appeared off and on. He appeared as a backup in Commandy for a while. Commandy was probably his longest running DC book. And that one's wonderful too. But
yeah.
OMAC is why I'm in the field I'm in. It's why I love comics. Like that's what sort of opened up my imagination to.
So the sci-fi elements of
technology.
OMAC made you an engineer?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I don't think I knew that.
Kirby crackle and sci-fi-ness is what I wanted to go into. That and the money.
Yeah, that's always nice.
My dad always said, "You love these comic books. You know comic books cost a lot of money." He says, "You better find a job that gives you a lot of money." It's the best thing he's ever told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To feed your habit. Not
yeah,
drugs.
Because my dad didn't have a lot of money. He was a firefighter, and he got me into comics by going to the garbage dumps. And that's when we were getting like drugstore comics with the cover ripped off. And that's how I got into comics, is just reading comics without the cover.
That's awesome though. I mean,
yeah.
You probably got to read some cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I never knew what half of it was, but I absorbed it like a sponge.
Like because you wouldn't have the cover, so you'd have to like look at the indicia to like see what the actual book was.
Yeah, and I never really paid attention to the indicia, but at that age, because I started like at 5 and 6, so it was all about the art originally, and then I started to read hardcore, and then I just loved the medium.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then it got out of control.
Yeah, I have heard that you were at 88,000.
Yeah, 88,000 comics.
Yeah, and that's not all in your house, right? That's spread out over storage units.
Yes, the newer stuff is in the storage unit.
We need to get you a nice big climate controlled building out back in your backyard.
Yeah, I would love that. I hate going to the climate controlled storage unit.
And then you can just like make a little like Mike's comic shop in the backyard.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard, but I listened to Challengers, which is a podcast out of Chicago. And they're more like a retailer podcast, but
yeah, I've listened to their.
He had his stuff in a storage unit, and he had about several grand, like $100,000 worth of comics, and they stole his stuff. Luckily, they were able to retrieve about 80% of it,
Oh, it caught the guys that did it.
But it's really worthwhile if anybody listens to or is curious and stores their stuff in a podcast. A storage unit. How the thieves did it and what to watch out for, I guess, and if you can avoid it. But it was a crazy story, and they did the when he lost everything, and then 2 weeks later was able to get it back, and it's a pretty good story.
I've never heard that one. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know when I helped Kyle move, he had a lot of his stuff in storage for a while in between the move.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, was not like, it wasn't, I don't think it was climate controlled, but you could look up over like, and there was like trusses, visible trusses.
Yeah.
In the ceiling, and then you could like go through. If you climbed up there, you could go across that truss and go down
Mission
into the
Impossible.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is not secure. And I think
even if it is secure, like ours has like 3 layers of security, it wouldn't have worked against these thieves because they essentially bought a unit. So like, let's say they're on the 2nd floor. So they buy a unit with a credit card that's not theirs. So it can't be traced back to them. And then they go there on the weekend and they sort of like just hang out in their unit and act like they're a regular customer, and they watch people on what they're bringing. They're like, oh, that guy brings tools. Oh, that guy looks like he's collectibles, whatever. And then the next weekend they might bring like a Dremel tool, and they don't cut the locks. They cut the bar that locks the sliding thing. And they go in there as a regular customer, and then they fill the carts, and then they take them all out. So when they rob these guys, they rob like 7 units, like of tools and comics and furniture. I mean, they just raided everything. And to a regular person, it looked like, oh, that person's just moving a lot of shit out, you know. In reality, they just took it all out.
Not cool.
And then the complexity of it was they were smart enough to go outside of Chicago to sell the stuff. But he has friends, and they said, hey, there's a estate sale, and you might want to look at these pictures to see if it's your stuff. And sure enough, he looked at the detail, and he had stickers on boxes and, like some identifiable stuff. It wasn't just like a long box. It was identifiable. And he said, oh, crap, that's my stuff. So he called the Chicago police. They wouldn't do anything because it's outside the city. So they can't do anything. So he had to call the police in that other place, and they were like, well, we can't do anything because the crime wasn't committed here. But we'll help you at this estate sale. So on the day of the estate sale, they essentially got to this place before with the police, and they knew the pawn shop owner guy, so they recovered his books. But that wasn't everything. That was 80% of his stuff.
Dang, that's crazy.
But that's it in a nutshell. But there's a lot more details if you listen to Contest of Challengers.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad he got some of it back. Majority of it back anyway. That's good.
Yeah, he was happy. I think it's missing like all the important stuff though, like his Amazing Spider-Man run and his Captain America run. Yeah.
They plucked it, cherry picked it.
They must have either that or just coincidence, which I doubt.
Yeah. Sophisticated thieves if they know what's valuable. What is your favorite current licensed property comic?
That's tough. I'd say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I can go with that. Mine's probably Orville right now. I've enjoyed a lot of those recently that have come out before.
Star Wars is really good. I like the Star Wars properties too.
There's so many.
Star Trek.
what is the Star Trek's not as pervasive, but there's like 1,000 Star Wars comics right now.
Well, since IDW lost the license to a lot of their stuff, Star Trek is doing about 3 monthlies on Star Trek. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, and Marvel's like at 7, I think.
Yeah, it feels like a lot. What is you rank the comic ages? So I guess gold, silver, bronze, modern. Is there another age?
I'll go by decade rather than the ages, because the ages sort of blur after, like modern is a long stretch.
Yeah, it's like
But
what 90 to current or 80
yeah, well, it
80s to
depends on
current.
definition. They have like if you Google it, there's like other breakdowns. And after, I mean, I'd go 90s just because
Yeah, I think
I'm a Bronze Age kid, but in the 90s I was so stressed out with school, like that comics were kind of like my uh, get out of exam and just lose my time and go to a different world. So, and
yeah.
that there was a lot going on. I mean, Valiant was exploding, Image was exploding, Batman's back was broken, Superman died, the AIDS virus and the Spectre. I mean, you had Sandman and all the Vertigo stuff and Animal Man, and I mean, it was like an explosion of newness to me, and that's why. Uh, Malibu Comics, Triumphant Comics. That's what I don't know. I'm very fond of the 90s, and a lot of people crap on it, but they can't take it away from me. I don't care. But
Yeah, I mean,
I would say next to that the Bronze Age, because I'm a Bronze Age kid, like the 70s. So I would go with that one next.
yeah, I was thinking like Silver Age was 70s and Bronze Age was 80s, but you might be right. It might be
No,
bronze might
Silver
start.
Age is more like 60s. Bronze Age is like 73 or something like that.
Okay. Okay. And then gold is early 60s to and 50s and back.
Early, right, prior to Marvel and Showcase #4. That's the definition of that one's pretty easy.
Yeah. It's
Just
weird though because
think of the Flash and Showcase, and then you know that that's kind of what kicked it off.
if you say the modern age starts in the 90s or let's say it starts with Image in 92, even you've
Oh, I think
got
it's before that.
you got 30 years in that age, 30 plus years in that age compared to a much shorter Bronze Age and a much shorter Silver Age.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're saying
Bronze Age was 1970 to 1985.
yeah, so that's 15 years.
Yeah,
And
but
so
for
that
me, I'm going by the decades. I would say 70s and then 90s, just because it's so much easier to bound it. Like
yeah.
it's easy to blur the line when you're going across a decade, especially when you're older. Like what's in what?
Yeah, I'm definitely going backwards. I mean, I'm going to go modern, bronze, silver, gold in that order. Um, but yeah, it is. But bronze kind of gets the short shaft there because if it doesn't start until 85, it ends before Image, right? So it only gets like 7 years.
No, it's 1970 to 1985.
That's
Bronze.
silver. Oh, that's bronze.
No, it's
Bronze.
bronze.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
So
saying modern starts at
bronze
85,
is 50, 16 years.
and then so that makes silver.
Silver's prior to that, like 50s to 1969.
When was Showcase 4? You said what year?
Showcase 4 is probably I'll have to look it up.
1956. It's 1956.
Yeah. So that's what key is the key to go off of.
So
But
that
if you're to
that's
say like the key Bronze Age, I kind of would. I always think of like the Marvel monsters as kind of the Bronze Age when you had Dracula, werewolf, and all that stuff. and
Wow.
Spider-Man and the drug issues, and uh, Green
I don't.
Lantern and Green Arrow doing the drugs, and kind of
To
like when
me,
they started to break the code.
yeah, that doesn't feel like to me. Bronze is Crisis. Um,
No,
all
that's
that.
87, man.
Yeah, that feels like Bronze Age to me. But maybe, yeah, I guess I'm not
But
thinking
you're
of it right.
younger. You're blurring the lines.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So Crisis is 86, is that right? Yeah.
86, 87, yeah, because
So that's
I
all
know that
modern.
year.
That's a ridiculous. We need a new age then because modern can't go 30, 40 years.
Well, it's ridiculous because if you even so the Silver Age is 1956 to 1970, okay, and then 1970 to 1985 is Bronze, and then Modern is 1985 to present.
It's like
How could
40
that be?
years.
How could that be?
Yeah.
There is some. Uh, I think it was Overstreet or some other one that broke down the into more ages than modern. But that's what people know it by, is the
Yeah.
old the old the old way.
Well, let's do it right now. We'll solve this problem. So we're gonna call it after bronze to modern. We're gonna give it, you're saying 86 to, let's go to 2000, and then in 2000 we get like
I would go all
Y.
the I would actually go down to the crash, like in the late 90s.
Okay.
Like that's what I define as modern, and then I would define the next stage as after the crash, like because it crashed hard
Okay.
after the speculation
So
market.
so we'll call it post crash. Post
Yeah, post
crash
crash.
is a new age that you heard it here, folks. The post crash age, and then when we're going to say that's 99 or 2000.
I think it was late 90s, but I think it was more like 97 when stuff started to go to pot.
Right.
Um,
So let's go 2000
and
and make it even then. 2000 to
because
current.
the like 93, I think it was 93, 94, 92 that things exploded. That's when people like that didn't even read comics were buying comics
Right.
because they were going to send their kids to college.
Yeah, when you'd buy a long box of Spawn #1.
I kind
And
of fell into that. Like I have at least 10 copies of Spawn #1 downstairs,
oh,
and
I did too. I did too.
Savage Dragon and all of that. I
So
think I
yeah.
have like 5 Death of Supermans and all the different prints, the newsprint, the
Yeah, yeah.
I, I went all in,
Yeah, I was
but I
excited
never
about that.
parted with them either. So I don't know. I've sold maybe like 5 comics in my entire life.
So you keep, even though, like, if you have multiple dupes, you're going to keep them.
Well, I'm just too lazy and I hate it so much. I hate selling comics
It is a pain in the ass. I
because
get
I
that.
mean, what people bitch about shipping, but it's a lot of time. I mean, shipping and handling, it's the handling that costs a lot because it's your time. I mean, if you look at the cost of how much somebody makes an hour and you figure, oh, I have to package this, I have to ship it, I have to worry about it tracking from here to here
I got to
and
haul my
getting
fat
there.
ass down to the post office.
Yeah, I gotta spend $6 of gas a gallon to get to the post office to get it shipped out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's expensive and people don't really care. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the buyer doesn't care.
And then you go through all that, and then the person who bought it from you, and let's say you give them free shipping, and then they're like, you said this was very fine plus, and it's probably closer to very fine, so I'm gonna give you a 0 stars, and then I want
Yeah.
my money back.
Well, I know some guy that shipped a lot of his to mycomicshop.com and ended up getting it shipped back because he was getting 40 cents for some of that stuff.
You do, yeah. I know that person too, very well. That person learned a hard lesson about that, and at some point I'll go on a rant about those guys one of these days when I get fed up.
I get their business model. Like I understand it.
It's like every
Because
LCS's business model.
they really cater to the buyer though, because in reality, a lot of the times they gave you 40 cents, they could sell it for 2. So that is their profit based on
Right.
the condition. They know they can sell it
But I
because
bet my mortgage that the comics they have on the rack that they get from Diamond are the same ones that I sent them, and the ones that are on the rack they're calling near mint, and mine they're calling very good. Even though
I
mine was unread, theirs are unread. Mine were sealed in bagged and board. There's no way that it's ever touched human hands, and I'll bet you bottom dollar that they rate their own shit higher than they rate mine.
I don't think so. And the reason that I don't think so is I'm a extensive buyer from them.
Right.
And I normally, if I was going somewhere else, I would not buy a VG book. But their VGs are fine. Like I know they're a 6.0, not a 4.0. So I will buy a VG from my comic shop. I won't buy a VG from Mile High because Mile High grades incredibly aggressive in
Yeah.
the other way.
Yeah.
So to me, and to the consumers I know, like Bob Bretal, who owns the world record, that we all know that they grade aggressively. Like my comic shop grades extremely aggressive against the seller, but very much pro in the buyer, because if you do it in that order, they're not going to get as much complaints. Like I get the book and I'm like, holy shit, this is fine. Like this
You're
is
thinking they
way
do that
better.
you think they do that with their own stock as well?
Yes, I really do, because I get a lot of books from them in low grade, and they look awesome. I've gotten some books that they have rated fine, and they look very fine to me, like incredible.
Yeah. I got some credit with them that I got to burn before it goes away. I don't know if it goes away or not, but I got a bunch of stuff in my cart I need to pull the trigger on, and I'm going to see for myself when it gets here.
Yeah, do a VG, just to see.
Well, I don't for my own personal collection, like just to complete the run, I don't give a shit about condition. I mean, of course I'd
Yeah,
rather have this, but I mean, I don't care between a very fine or, near mint. I don't care. It's just going in the collection, and it's going to be part of the run, so it doesn't matter to me.
yeah, it's just, to me, a very fine is just as good as a near mint. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not a CGC guy. I listen to some of that stuff, but I kind of know how things get graded, just in general. But I don't care because
Yeah.
I buy a graded book and I crack it open.
Yeah,
I think of those as a prison, and then it's just an awful way to stand out, like on my wall. I can't have it in plastic. I Everybody has their pet peeves, and
yeah,
like I appreciate those people that want to make money. So I'm not like condemning you because you put your stuff and you protect it, because that's where it's going to be valuable. But I'm a reader and collector first than wanting to sell something. So for
yeah.
me,
If I
it
was buying
makes no
keys,
sense.
I could see. I definitely see the appeal of the being sealed and graded. That's cool. Yeah, sure. If I'm gonna get a Hulk 181 and I can see that it's been graded and it's sealed in its case, yeah,
Yeah.
at that price, I can see the value there. But
Well,
otherwise,
I do buy those though. I do buy those CGC books that are graded like that, and then I crack them open.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna crack open like
Oh, sorry,
Superman.
Barb's pointing at herself. She's listening in the
Uh,
living room, and she says, "I crack them open."
she has the
She
can
has
opener, right?
yeah, she's got the
Special can
moves.
opener.
I think it's like an X-Acto knife and just cracking it with her hands. She knows how to She knows how to crack it just right without damaging it.
Well, yeah, you mentioned Overstreet, and just like clockwork, the good folks at Overstreet, have sensed that with the internet age upon us and print dying, that maybe they should put out an app. And so they've been working on it for the last 25 years. And Overstreet has rolled out a new database, price guide, website, app for that you can get at various tiers. You can get a $10 a month version or $9 a month version. You can get a $5 a month version, a $3 a month version, and they're like gold, silver, bronze. We were just talking about. And I think they have a free version, and for that you can maybe look something up like you can on mycomicshop.com. So they don't have a lot of bells and whistles there, but it does stuff like.
Have you downloaded it yet?
I went to this. Yeah, I did, and I didn't pay. I just
Right. But I'm just curious because I wouldn't want to. I already have a database that tells me my
yes,
values and stuff, but it's a good marker outside of eBay to have an Overstreet. I know Kyle doesn't care. He
right.
doesn't like Overstreet, but I like it as like I would look to that first if I was selling, and then look at eBay because
Yes,
eBay's like now, but this is more like a good average. Think of that as your other term. What do they call it? Fair retail value.
fair market value.
Fair
Yeah,
market value.
yeah,
That's kind of like Overstreet to me. That's what
yeah.
they think the value is.
And your blue chippers, and you like
Yeah.
historical stuff, and stuff that doesn't move on eBay because there's no inventory.
Right.
So
Because there is an age before the golden age called the platinum age.
yeah,
That has like Tintin and all the other weird stuff, the Yellow Boy. And if you ever go to like a comic book museum, you can see comics from the platinum age. And they have them in Overstreet, believe it or not. But Overstreet's disappointing nowadays because they start dropping stuff like because they can't make this book like I don't know as big as the industry's gotten, and you'll find like I'll pick up like obscure stuff like from my comic shop, and Ed will pull out the price guide and he goes, it's not in there.
right.
And like, yeah,
That's
it's like
disappointing.
what do I do? Yeah, what do I uh and then some of the stuff you can't look on eBay because nobody
They don't.
else wants it, so there's
Well,
no demand.
it's not sold. Yeah, Comic
Yeah,
DB is gone or behind a paywall now.
yeah.
So there's not a lot of resources like that. Yeah, I've been disappointed in the last couple of Overstreets. Like back in the day, the Overstreet was everything. Like I was like, this has
Yeah,
every
that
single
was
comic ever made.
awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
And I would just pour over line by line and try to memorize the stuff. And now it's just like they just kind of like they do shorthand because there's so much product, the book can't cover it all.
And
And
then with all the variants, I mean, it's got to be a nightmare, like
yeah,
to put it out on print, because I mean, some of the comics now have like 15, 20 variants.
yeah, and they should have done this 10, 15 years ago.
And
And
then you have to worry about the ratios, like because you might
oh
have a
yeah,
1 in 10, a 1 in 20. I mean, it's crazy
yeah, and I don't know who does a good job of that. Um,
with
main,
ratios.
yeah,
That has to be eBay or whatever. There's a lot of weird things. Have you heard of that Whatnot?
yeah. I saw a little bit
Uh,
about that. I didn't do much investigation on that though.
I looked at it and I was like, this isn't for me. This is for the next generation because it's more video based.
Yeah,
And I just can't. I don't get the video based. Like I, it's more like instead of being an auction, it's like you're in a live auction, I guess.
oh really?
Yeah, I just don't know how it works because you're not. don't think you're like linked to anything. I don't know how. Maybe you are. Maybe you have to put in your credit card or your bank statement. I don't know.
DNA, something like that. Yeah, it's weird. Like they do that. Like the Instagram guys. There's a lot of Instagram guys that do claim sales all the time.
Yeah.
And that seems weird to me. Like they just put stuff up. Somebody puts claimed. They did.
Well, that's what Aaron Myers does, and I buy from him extensively.
Yeah, I don't get it.
His is Facebook though. He might do it on Instagram as well. So I think he might post it on both sites, and then it's first come, first serve.
And then if they don't get to him in a certain amount of time, he posts it again. I
don't know if he's got like this wicked alert checker, but he's fast. Like I've never done a claim and then not gotten a book ever.
Right, but I mean, what about the guys that aren't you that like have buyer's remorse and like, I shouldn't have bought that for that much money. I'm not going to buy that. I mean, how long does he wait before he's like, okay, that guy's gonna
he doesn't ship it until he has the money in hand.
That's legit. Yeah, no fees. So. Keeps the fees away.
Right. But he still lets you do PayPal with the protection and stuff. Like he doesn't try to hide behind a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Send me your social security card.
Yeah. So you still have like buyer's protection, like if something happens.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at we've still got July previews happening. So let's take a look at what's going on at Image in July, which is selling September? Be in the stores in September.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I love Image in different decades. We were talking about that earlier. You are a foundational Image man that loves the original, 6, 8? Who were the original founders?
Yeah, Wills, 7 or 8.
Wilson, McFarlane.
Wills Bertasio's the one that kind of was the outlier. Jim Valentino, Eric Larson, Todd McFarlane,
Jim Lee,
Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, and Mark Silvestri.
Yeah. Those guys, legends, all. And you still worship at their altars. You still get all their stuff, don't you?
I think some of the best panels ever, like even when I went to C2E2 and I saw Silvestri there, like they're such fascinating dudes because not a lot of those dudes became millionaires. It's like not a lot of comic creators could say that.
That's true.
Not any. I mean, these guys were millionaires. They made enough money launching Image and the books prior to that, like at Marvel, that they were set for life.
Yeah, they made millions off of maybe 2 or 3 books that actually came out. I mean,
yeah. And they're such fascinating, like they did a lot of stuff. Like they did their own coloring. They did a lot of, they made their own companies like Extreme Studios and Top Cow and McFarlane. So they were like not only comic creators, but they were entrepreneurs, if you will.
Yeah, that's what surprises me, because I think we had mentioned it, or we talked on Twitter or something about the Comic Kayfabe podcast with Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
No, I thought you were saying you're like, I can't watch them I can't watch the YouTube.
I can't watch YouTube shows, but if I had to, I'd watch them because they know how to do visuals, like stuff.
Yeah.
They're high production video. It's the other ones that are kind of like.
Yeah, and it works though.
They don't use video, like visual representation. Like I can't listen to Cartoonist Kayfabe as a podcast because I love those guys. I think they're the best creators, but they have too much visual stuff. Like
I actually watched like back to back of them just paging through old Wizard magazines.
Yes, these guys though I can relate to because they're in the era like
Yeah.
that I love so much. Like Tim V. Hill and Faust and all that stuff. Like when stuff was blowing up, they're in my wheelhouse. They're so in there.
Oh yeah, they're great.
And I like Pisker so much because I just think Red Room is like
It was great.
It is one of my favorite comics to ever like. I don't know. I can think about it for hours, like at so many different levels, because it's not only like a crazy story, but it's like an artistic piece of art because he does a different experiment in each issue. So I just love it to bits.
I am gonna.
And
have to
I
sue
remember
him.
I remember meeting him at like one of my first cons because he used to do some independent book that I have.
Yeah.
I don't remember WYSIWYG.
WYSIWYG. What
yeah,
you see is what you
WYSIWYG.
get. Yeah. Yep.
And I bought those all at a convention, like I don't know, back in 2007 or 2008. It was early on in my convention days.
He was probably like 18 years old.
Yeah, he
He's
still
young.
looks like 18 years old.
Yeah.
He does wear that hat and like he kind of looks like Eminem. I don't know. Like
he's
he's ready to rap or something, but
I think they think they might be 40. Him and Jim Rugg, I think, are both in their 40s.
yeah, I think they're older, but they do look pretty young. Like
yeah.
I know
Early
I'm
40s.
a decade ahead of them for sure.
Yeah. But I think I'm still gonna go file a lawsuit against Pisker because Red Room he uses the phrase murder on the web for fun and profit as his catchphrase, and I believe that's copyright infringement somehow. So we'll have to see what the courts decide. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I was like, cause I maybe it was just like one offhand comment. You're like, oh, I could never watch comics kayfabe, and I was like, no, Mike, you
no,
love
I
these
can
guys.
watch it. I can't. If I said that, I didn't mean that. I meant I can't listen to.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Their podcast. I can't watch YouTube videos because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Because they're a visual represent medium, and the only time I can listen to that kind of stuff is when I'm working in the yard or doing dishes or walking my dog or doing stuff.
I thought you were doing treadmill.
Treadmill. I will do TV though.
You got to do real TV.
I have so many streaming services. There's no way I'm going to trade that off for YouTube. It's just not happening.
You got to get that money. Got to justify that money.
I'm either going to watch Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, or whatever. Exactly. I am not going to devote it to a medium that I already can hear. Like, I guess that's the way I look at it.
I gotcha. Well, I'm glad you checked it out and liked it when you did. Because I was thinking about you when I was watching. I was like, oh man, this is Mike's wheelhouse.
Oh, the one that I absolutely loved, and I did watch this one through, was the court cases of Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was like
fascinating.
Well, I bought the book prior to that, and then I kind of read along with it, sort of, as they were kind of going over it, because they were reading as if they were the actual
yeah. They were playing the parts.
yeah and I was like, oh, this is so awesome. Again, Todd McFarlane is so fascinating. Like we're talking about the guy that bought the Maguire ball.
Yeah.
And he tried to get into to do cards, and now he's in toys, and he's just absolutely fascinating to me.
Yeah, and he was on an episode too. They interviewed him, and fascinating dude.
Yeah, I absolutely, God, I adore all of them. Even Valentino and
even Wills.
I love
the forgotten founder.
Wetworks. He, in all fairness, he could have been bigger than he was, but he had some kind of family medical issue that he had to leave. So if things had turned out differently, I think he would have been, more prominent.
Right.
He's very talented.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I've
He
got.
just did a cover for Hellcop or one of those books.
Oh, I was there for all that launch stuff, man. I remember. I remember the launch. I remember image craze, and then foil covers and nuts.
And I still love that. Like I go gaga of the foil or the chromium. Like the chromium is one of my favorites.
No.
I had Chromium Exo Man of War and Ninjak, and I just loved it. Like I eat that stuff up.
I did fall for the lenticular craze too, not so long ago. So.
Oh, I like the lenticular. The lenticular was pretty awesome. And like the new Batman that just came out, it had what is the acetate cover or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I eat that up. I just love it. Like my favorite gimmick was the bullet hole cover in Protectors. Like it had a bullet hole all the way through the issue. It was so awesome.
And the die cuts. I was there for the die cuts.
The die cuts. I love them. Yeah.
Love the die cuts.
The what do they call it? The holographic images.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That's why they keep doing this shit, because we eat it up with a spoon, man.
Like I know they're not worth a lot. I just love them. Like it just reminds me of a time. Like it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun time because I didn't get to experience the indie explosion until way late in my life. Other than Archie, I mean, if it wasn't Harvey or Archie, it was Marvel or DC. And in the 80s, yes, I got into Eagle Comics, but that was about it. That was for Judge Dredd and Robo Hunter and all that stuff. But
do you remember the black and white craze after TMNT?
No, because I did not want to read about a turtle back then. Like times have changed. Like now I'm into G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles, and I'm still not into Transformers, but I love those comics, and I didn't want anything to do with them when they were coming out.
Yeah, I liked TMNT, and then that got me into something called Fish Police. I don't know if you remember that book.
Yeah, I've read it recently. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my jam.
A run of it.
I loved it. I was like, that's the
coolest
thing.
I wouldn't have touched that if I was to go back in time. I'm not the same person then that I was now. Now I'm willing to read anything. Like I just like I'm like a sponge.
You're
back
more
then,
forgiving.
I was more like a superhero dude.
Yeah.
You know how John Mayo likes to stay in his superhero world?
Yes.
That was me in the 80s. Like that's all I wanted. And I didn't want anything to be funny or look weird. I wanted it to look. Now I can look at any type of art,
right.
But back then it had to look like George Perez.
And that's not bad, but
no, it's not. I just that times have changed.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, man, we got to get into Image. We got to take a look at what Image has to say to us. And we're on page, let's see, 31 in your print copy, 40 in your digital. We're going to kick off with a new Jeff Lemire book, Bone Orchard, 10,000 Black Feathers, #1. It's a gem of the month. And Andrea Sorrentino doing the art. It's horror supernatural, go figure. That's what Image does.
It's in a
any
shared
interest?
Universe. Yeah, if it says it's in a shared horror continuity universe with Gideon Falls, Primordial, and the Passageway.
Okay.
So
I'm
he's
less
like
interested.
building his own universe, like Black Hammer, if you will.
Yeah, I'm less interested now.
I'm more interested because I still like continuity. I
It
like
looks nice. It looks nice. I like the art for sure. Really, really nice cartooning going on there.
Yeah, I still haven't read Passageway. That was I have it right here on this table, but it was direct to hardcover.
Yeah, I dropped off of Gideon Falls halfway through, so never finished that one.
I think Lemire's a master, just like Matt Kent. So.
Oh yeah, I like him too, but
See, like when I think of Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg, I think the little older group of Jeff Lemire and Matt Kent, because they used to hang out at every con. Like they were they were fascinating to me because they started totally indie, and then
Yeah.
they went mainstream. But and then they went and did whatever they want because they could.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's right there right now in a panel today with Keanu Reeves. How badass is that?
Yeah, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Matt Kent,
Yeah.
because Keanu's the shit. I mean, he's awesome. Like, he's just a good person.
He said he's going to do John Wicks until nobody wants him to do John Wicks anymore. He said just
I
keep
hope
doing
so.
them.
I hope so, because I'm like a Liam Neeson fan and Clint Eastwood. I'll watch any of that. And they're like, Clint Eastwood will just throw one punch in a movie right now, and I'll still think he's badass.
He's like 90 now.
He is.
Yeah.
But I did watch the chicken movie, whatever that was called, El Macho, or
Yeah. Yeah.
that was
wasn't bad.
awesome.
Yeah, I got it for free with HBO Max. So yeah, I had to do that. Now, Creep Show #1, we got Chris Burnham, Paul Dini, Steve Langford, John McCrae working on this. This looks cool. Did you watch Creep Show back in the day on HBO?
That was Tales from the Crypt.
That was Tales from the Crypt. What was Creep Show? Was that Showtime's version?
Creep Show was a movie.
Okay.
Now they have a show on, what is it called? Shudder.
Okay. So Creep Show is just a movie.
As far as I know.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right.
Tales from the Crypt was the HBO, the Crypt Keeper.
Oh,
he
gotcha,
would
gotcha.
introduce. I love that, but they're all the same. Like whether it's Vault of Horror or any of it, they're similar stories. This is like Tales from the Crypt, just a different host.
Yeah, and it's
House
an
of
anthology,
Mystery.
so it's going to be anthologies. I go back and forth on them. I love some of them, and some of them, I can easily skip them. And if you can easily skip a book, because then it's hard to go continually to come back and read it. So that's a problem with anthologies to me. But I usually enjoy them when I read them.
Yeah, same here. Like one of my favorites was the Antarctic anthologies. I love them. And heavy metal, I still adore.
Yeah.
Like every heavy metal, I still like 80% of the content, or I wouldn't be getting it anymore.
That's great that it still holds up after all those years.
Yeah. Well, it might not hold up for everyone. It holds up for me personally.
Every time I sample it, though, I find stuff that I like in them.
Yeah.
I always gravitate to stuff.
It is a nice sci-fi treat.
And we've got Vanish #1. This is Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. It's a superhero book. And tons of covers. It's these guys were both on Venom, right?
Yeah.
Over at Marvel. I will probably sample this, even though I'm not a huge fan of superheroes at Image. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I will too. I do like Donny Cates more when he's out of the out of the Marvel stuff. Yeah.
I really like crossover. I thought that was great.
I love his like Dark Horse stuff before he became big. Like it's just amazing.
Oh yeah, well, he had a team book over there, didn't he?
He had a lot of stuff over there. But Ghost Fleet, a bunch of different books that I absolutely liked. And now he's sort of hit or miss for me. Like his Hulk is really weird. I'm trying, but I have to fight through that one.
Yeah, I dropped it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Then we've got
I will give him this though. He always does. He always tries to break the mold and do something different.
Yeah.
So I do like that about him, because I don't like everything to be the same. You know.
And he made some speculators some money because he was always
Yeah.
trying to he knew what he was doing, you know. You get collectability going, so got people excited about it. A lot of stuff going to second and third and fourth prints because of
If
the
you look
work
at
that
the
he did.
preview pages, it look awesome. They
Yeah, they
really
do.
look well rendered.
Now we have I'm torn when I talk about Saga. I love Saga. It's one of my favorite comics, and it was one of the comics that got me back into reading again in 2011 when it came out, or whatever. 2012 because it's celebrating 10 years of Saga with their 10th trade paperback covering the last 5 issues, which is 55 to 60. So if you do the math, 10 years of Saga, 60 issues, 6 issues a year. So all those hiatuses and planned breaks pretty much break them down to an every other month cadence.
Yeah.
Which is bummer because it's so good. But if you want Fiona Staples to do it, she's got a family now. She can't crank out the art like she used to. So it takes her longer. So I don't think I want anybody else drawing this book. So I gotta wait, and that means I get 1 issue every other month, and I'm okay with it. And that's just the way you got to do, right?
That's what you got to do.
Them's the breaks. Now with like other books, I'm like, just replace the artist. Put a fill in. I don't care. Just tell me the story. I want to get through. I want more content. But for this book, it's kind of linked. The creators.
Well, it's kind of her. Yeah, they're kind of the team.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We've got Antioch. This is Patrick Kindlin and Marco Ferrari. Ferrari. It's an all-new ongoing series for fans of Namor and Brubaker and Phillips's Sleeper, which is an interesting combination. This is the team that brought us Frontiersman, if you remember that short series. Looks kind of interesting. I like the art.
Yeah, I'm gonna try all of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this one. I'll be trying this one. Flawed #1 is from Chuck Brown, who is Bitterroot. Yeah,
and he's writing Black Mana for DC. Really good.
Okay, there you go.
Really good African American writer.
And then the artist is Prinzi. Prinzi, who did On the Stump, which I don't remember that one.
It doesn't ring a bell with me either. That cover's amazing. I love that cover A.
And it's
simple but awesome.
This is a high octane limited series that's Frasier meets the Punisher, or Kill Bill meets Nailbiter. So there's a couple of comparisons for you. That helps.
Yeah.
Definitely check out the first issue for sure. See what it's like.
The Least We Can Do.
Who's that writer? What's her name? His name?
Iolanda Zanfaridio. I don't know.
Wow. That's a rough one.
Alicia Ramboli.
Doing the art, yeah. A mysterious magical power arises from a world nearly destroyed by world war. I like the look. Looks like an Aftershock book a little bit from the cover. Got that style.
I like the interiors.
Yep. Worth checking out. Chris Riles giving us Onyx, a one-shot with Gabrielle Rodriguez and Jay Photos, another horror science fiction crossover. It's a
I love Chris Ryle, but just to let people know and be cognizant of what's happening here. All of the stuff you see in Image has been, like, I own all the copies that have been printed at IDW. So this isn't something new. And they don't advertise it as previously collected in, issues 1 through 4 of Onyx at IDW. This is that. I mean, it's just reprinted material.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they wouldn't, I guess, unless they had printed it, would they?
Yeah.
So if he's taking his creator-owned
But
piece,
a lot of people are discovering it for the first time, which is good because it's Image now and it's not IDW. But this is, I mean, every time you see this, last month, the month before, everything you see has been printed before at IDW. This one, they're combining all the issues into one, though. That's why you got the $9.99 cover price.
Okay. We got some OGNs, Everyday Hero, Machine Boy. Probably
Yeah, this
not
one
for
was
me.
this was in the anthology Image number
Oh, the
one, I
30,
think.
the 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new Reckless book by Brubaker Phillips. These are all fantastic. Don't really even need to know what they're about because it's all part of the Reckless world. This will be great. These are the best. I can wholeheartedly recommend them.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I love that it's viable too. Like they can go off and do one of these every 4 months, 5 months, put it out, make a shit ton of money, do another one. I love it.
And the nice thing about it for them is it's sort of like an evergreen because like you could see if you missed any of the issues, you could buy all of them again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And you can get it as a hardcover
you
or
can
soft
jump in at
cover.
any time. You just have to, know the issues because they don't say like volume 1 or whatever. They're Reckless and then the name. So you have
But
to sort of look up the order to read them.
yeah, they definitely give you a little more if you've been with them the whole ride. You definitely get a better experience. But they are incredibly accessible, and you could read them out of order if you wanted to.
That's true. It's like watching a movie if you don't get all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, yeah. Did you like Moon Knight?
The TV show?
Yep.
I loved the first episode,
Okay.
but as it went on, I liked at least less and less as it went on.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I liked the first one because it was almost like they did that like switching, like where the camera would just like flicker and you knew he was like switching.
Uh-huh.
And they went away from that, but I liked it a lot because it reminded me of Memento. I don't know if you ever saw that movie,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
guy with short-term memory and stuff.
Chris
And he's
Nolan
like,
movie.
he would wake up and he'd be like, "Where am I?" And he'd have to look at his arm to see if he wrote anything down. But I liked the first one a lot, but it was probably one of my least favorites. Now Miss Marvel I absolutely loved,
I thought
and
that was great.
not because of the superhero. I loved the family. Like I thought the characters and learning about Pakistani culture, it even made me want to research it more. Like I was engrossed in that part of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't know any of that. Like I was like Googling stuff while I was watching it.
Oh,
Like,
I
what is
was
this
doing the same.
split thing they're talking
Yeah,
about? I didn't
I
know
was
this.
doing the same thing. And if a show drives you to learn, like it's got to be a good show because
Yeah.
you're Googling about different stuff.
And you know what? I really thought that they would like dodge any of that, but they leaned straight into the Muslim heritage, and I really
Yeah.
think it worked. I think it worked really
Yeah,
well.
it was really close to the comic book. Like if you read the first volume, in terms of the family,
Yeah.
it was like on the money. Like um the superhero aspect is totally different because that Djinn or whatever, that's
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
But the original was Inhumans. But it's interesting. Have you watched all of it?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
The whole aspect of the Kree is interesting because the Kree are what started the Inhumans. So it might be coming back to like that indirectly
Right.
because
Like
of the.
there
Did
was
you
no
stay?
Terrigen Mist. There's no
No, but
Terrigen Mist.
right? But did you see the last scene at the end? Like there was an extra at the end of Miss Marvel.
The
Did you
one where
see that?
we got another character, another superhero that came out
Yes.
and said, "Where am I?" or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because that could be the link
Yeah.
because she's that.
Right.
So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was fine with the bangle and the Jen angle. I was like, that makes just as much sense as anything else. And
Yeah, I don't. I never care about that ever.
Yeah.
Like
I
the more you're different from the comic, the more I like it.
I watched it with my wife, and she was like, okay, so she's like has ice powers and does like she shoots ice shards and has ice fists, and I'm like, well, it kind of looks like that, but that's really not what it is. Once we get to the end, I mean, at some point she's gonna get really big. Just keep watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, look, it looks like ice, but it's not. It's not. It's like
Well, even in the comics though, it's hard to like. She's like Mr. Fantastic, but not. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird power base.
Yeah, but I thought it was handled really well.
But they did kind of cater to the comic fan with the fists and stuff.
Yeah.
The big hands.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and the embiggen, and that was great. Now, of the last two Marvel movies, you've seen Thor and Doctor Strange. Do you have a preference?
I like Thor better, but I don't think I would have said that a couple years ago because Ragnarok was, when I watched it the first time, I wasn't too crazy on it. But I like the way I went into this movie is I had watched all four like back to back to back and then went to the movie the next day.
Oh.
And it really worked well for me personally as like a beginning, middle, and end, you know, like
Okay.
I thought it flowed well. But still I like the first one the best because I just love the Destroyer, but I think he's like iconically one of the best Kirby creations. I just love his look.
What about Doctor Strange?
Doctor
Multiverse.
Strange I liked quite a bit, but it had too much of the same feel that Spider-Man did to me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and they
I
were
can see
like
that.
right next to each other, so it didn't have the same impact as
Yeah.
the Spider-Man one did, because it's like been there, done that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's get back into Image. I was sorry about the little sidetrack there. We do that, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, I'm terrible, but
we're tangent people.
You're actually doing a lot of it this episode. So I'm not totally the guilty one here.
Yeah, you rub off on me.
Yeah.
I'm on page 69, and it's 20th Century Men #2, Above Snakes #3, Beware the Eye of Odin 4, Dead Lucky 2. I haven't read any of these yet. I have them. They're just stacked up. I'm like 50 issues of comics behind where I need to be.
Yeah, I just picked up Above Snakes. I was gonna skip it, but I heard about it, and because it was Western, I decided to jump into it, even though it's supernatural Western. Because I just love the Western genre. I don't know if you're reading like Lead City, but that's badass. I love it.
What publisher is that?
Red 5.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's so good.
Lead City. I'll have to check that one out. We've got Deadliest Bouquet. Department of Truth is on issue 22. Do a Power Bomb. 8 Million Genies, which is blowing up crazy.
I've only read the first one, but I thought it was brilliant. Like I absolutely loved it. Like 5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I've read the first two, and they've both been really good and really good high concept. And do you remember that other Charles Soule book about the alien invasion? was that one called? It was like an Oni Press book. Do you remember that?
Oh, the space one. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
which one you're talking about, but I can't remember what it was called.
that was a high concept, that he did,
Yeah,
and I loved it.
he's pretty good. Yeah, I like Charles Soule.
But then
I
he
even
just
like his Star Wars stuff.
that I kind of given up on. So I was really
Yeah.
glad to see him do something like this again and get me excited about his work again. But yeah, Brian, I think he and Ryan Brown were on that book too, and I don't know why I'm spacing on it, but yeah, it was really great series. Firepower I've dropped, sadly. I'm just too far behind on stuff. I had to cut some things loose. Golden Rage. I'm excited to read this first issue. I haven't read it yet.
See, the difference between me and you is you have the smart to say I'll just cut it loose because I don't got time to read it. Me, I just keep stockpiling this stuff.
It's the Mike Myers Memorial Library, man.
That's
We'll
what
have at some
that
point we'll
library
have every single comic ever written. If things go right according to plan, you will have every single comic ever written in your library, which you can read at your leisure.
Right. And my wife said it's fear of missing out, but it's not, because I don't ever read it on time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fear of just missing.
Well, I mean, there's the people that fear I got to get on this right away, right?
Right.
I can listen to a podcast, hear somebody talk about it, and then read it 10 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. I do like to read comics roughly in the week or two that they're out. I
don't, and I'm glad I don't, because I would feel like it was more work. The way my brain and the way my brain works, it would feel like it's more work if I felt like I had to read it. And then it also would make me more moody, because sometimes I come home from work and if I'm like just pissed off, I might not want to read a comic book, because then I judge it.
Yeah.
I might judge it harshly because I'm not in the mood for it, but I feel like I have to read it. So like when I read a comic book, I really feel like reading it.
Yeah.
The downside is you've become extremely far behind.
It made me pare my reading list, because I discovered that I'm really going to average around 3 or 4 comics a day, and to get beyond it, it's really tough to ask for much more than that. So that keeps me under 30 a week.
Which makes sense. And usually what my day is like Sunday morning and all day Saturday. So I don't know, I'm averaging about 30.
Yeah.
Like 25 to 30. So I'm roughly in the same boat. It's just that when I get home from work, I eat dinner, because it's like 7 o'clock, and then I decompress with my wife for an hour watching TV, and then I'm gone. Like I'm just gone. And then if I do read something, believe it or not, it's digitally at 3 or 4 in the morning,
right?
Because I have my iPad there.
And I'm glad you've discovered the joys of digital. That's exciting.
I do like there's 2 things I like about digital. It works well for travel. That's one.
Yep.
The other thing I like about digital is the middle of the night. You're not waking anybody up by turning on a little light or something. You just read, and that's really a great option to have if you're having trouble sleeping.
Right. I agree. But yeah, so I that kind of just limits me to like the number, and I'm not strict about it. So there are still things I want to read that if I don't get to, I just let them stack up and I read them eventually when there's like a downtime, if there's ever a downtime, because the shit just always comes out. There's always new comics, right?
Yeah.
But I do have.
But do you ever find out though that like you have a pile there and you're gonna read it, but you might not be in the mood for superheroes that day? Like,
right.
I don't want to read Spider-Man today.
Yes.
I feel like a Western, but there's nothing in my pile right now that has it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I like the library mentality. But I can just go down to my basement or storage unit and get what I want. But
And I do that occasionally. That's true, but for the most part, it's either do I want to read a big two, or do I want to read anything else? From indies and Image and
yeah,
stuff like that. So I can always find something that I want to read, and I don't have to read superhero stuff.
yeah.
But I also like to alternate too. I like to go back and forth. So
Yeah, and
I
there's
don't know.
probably enough that you get that you can still do that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and then sometimes stuff just stacks up, and I wait until I am in the mood for it. So there's a little bit of you in me, mood reading wise.
Yeah.
It's exciting psychoanalysis of our reading habits. Let's see, we've got Love Everlasting. I'm really looking forward to this one.
I
haven't
too,
read a
believe it or
romance
not.
comic in a long time, and I want to.
It sounds like a lot like Hawkman and Hawkgirl kind of thing.
Okay, all right.
It should be interesting. There's some other premises in there that seem interesting, and for the most part, I like Tom King.
For the most part, I do too.
Like I'm not one of those. I used to be like his Batman would infuriate me, but
Yeah.
I stopped reading it as it came out, and then I digested it in chunks.
Yes.
Which means I would read like
2 or
6
3.
to 10 issues. No,
6 or
6
10.
to
Okay.
10, and then
Yeah.
I felt like I was very satisfied.
Yes.
So I like to let his stack up because the pace he goes and some of the messages he has, they're kind of drawn out. So
Oh my God, kinda.
well, I mean, no, but you see like if you read it like in chunks,
Yeah.
it's more digestible, and you don't forget like some of the
Right. And then, but there's also the part of me that says this is just pretentious, and there's no reason for him to stick so many Christmas Carol lyrics in this Batman Catwoman book. Doesn't add anything to it. It's just filler, and it annoys me. I don't want to read any more Christmas carols.
yeah. He's kind of a downer too. Like if you look at his overall pieces of work, he's got like a depression to him.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that goes back to his CIA job and psychoanalysis and what it comes to. But if you look at his works, they're underlying depressing.
Yeah, I still think his earlier stuff is his best stuff. But I do still enjoy
Sheriff of Babylon
Sheriff of Babylon. Vision I thought was brilliant.
Yeah. I liked Vision a lot. It felt a little different than what he's doing at DC.
But I still like stuff that like the Batman stuff he's writing is good. It's just better in chunks.
I agree.
And so I'll freaking read this. Human Target I thought was good.
Oh yeah, it's really good. So was Supergirl, and I've liked. I thought Strange Adventures was brilliant. I loved it.
Yes,
but I am a sucker for Adam Strange. I love that character.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like the deconstruction of that character, but it was really well done. I loved it. And I liked his Rorschach a lot.
Oh yeah,
that was absolute. That felt like, to me, it felt like Alan Moore was reading it with all the underlying messages in it. It was a great read.
And I read that issue to issue.
And it broke like the fourth wall with like Frank Miller and
it had some really good stuff
Steve
in it.
And like everything. It was amazing.
I didn't feel like there was any filler in that.
No.
And I felt like everything was kind of all the words were important.
Everything mattered. Yep, yeah. I agree 100%.
But I still think it probably would read better in a hardcover, but I enjoyed it as it was.
Yeah.
Okay, Middle Society number 5 finishes up. I love that Zach Kaplan book. Well, I've only read one, but I loved it.
There's
Nightmare
actually
Blog.
some I'm caught up on. Gunslinger Spawn, King Spawn,
There we go.
Spawn. That stuff's wonderful. Like, it's really good. And it's all intertwined. And it's all coming out on time. I don't know how he's doing it.
He's probably got a stable of writers.
Well, he's always been of the Image, 7 that we were talking about. He was always the one that was sort of coming out regularly.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the others were super delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Old Dog, I'm excited to read this with Declan Shalvey and Greg Smallwood. That's a great team to me.
That
Public
also
Domain.
was Image, right?
Yeah. Yep. Public Domain. The first issue was great. I'm looking forward to more of those. I haven't read the second issue of that one yet. Rogues Gallery, haven't read yet. Seven Sons, I haven't read yet. I haven't read the new Shirtless Bear Fighter yet, but I will. I dropped Silver Coin.
I like that one. At least what I've read.
Yeah, I read like the first three and I liked them, but it was like one of those anthologies where I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I don't have to read it. Sins of the Black Flamingo I thought was really good. Skybound Presents After School. I read the first one and liked it a lot. I haven't read anything since. Starhenge I haven't read. Texas Blood I'm current on. I love that book.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Time Before Time I dropped off of that. Around
I like
12.
that one.
You still reading it?
I'm not caught up, but I've read like the first 4.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I just gave up on it. Town Called Terror. I think I'm way behind on that one. I think I only read one.
I like that one.
Twig, I'm current. I think I read the first 3 of Twig. It's pretty interesting.
I stayed off of that one. It just looked like a Jim Henson type thing to me. But,
yeah, it's like his other.
I've never been in like Labyrinth or any of that. So
it's like I Hate Fairyland or Middle West. It's basically like that.
A Town Called Terror I like. That one's really good.
Unnatural, I'm not going to read any more of that. I'm not doing
I like that one.
I like the first one. I didn't read the second one. I like
Mirko and Dolfo. I like a Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
She's just writing that, too. She's not doing the art, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, she's just writing it. Seems like she's one of those artists that turns into a writer. You know what I mean? Like
some of them,
Chip Sardowski, like.
Yeah, you just never know.
He's more of a writer now than he is an artist, but he started off as an artist.
Yeah, that's cool when that happens, and it works. I like that. Yeah. Walking Dead Deluxe. I'm still in the bag for this book. In its 3rd or 4th iteration that I've read now.
I am getting that, but I didn't have the originals. I think I have from 50 up, but I don't have 1 through 49.
Did you read them in hardcover or?
I did the deluxe format.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a good way to read it.
It's a great way to read it, yeah.
Because it's like 12 issues at one shot. 2 trades in each hardcover.
As I'm rereading it, I'm way pickier than I was when I read it the first time. Now I'm like, that's a dumb idea. Why did he do that? Or that character wouldn't have acted like that. And because it's all clouded by the show, right? Now that I've seen the show.
They're so different that if you're crossing it, it might. I don't think it can be confusing.
Exactly.
Crossing streams because they're different, which I appreciate. I like it to be different. I still gotta finish that World Without whatever Walking Dead series. I kind of liked it because it was like the kids of it's just roaming.
I really liked the first season, and then I haven't finished the second season yet.
Yeah, I need to get back on the second one. It's like Lord of the Flies. I don't know. It's kind of like a bunch of kids that shouldn't be together that are kind of on this trek.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking they would go on a little further than they did, but Just 2 seasons. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
the
fine.
first season was more of them trying to find the family, right? The father.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you have that like that big bulky sad guy, that has
Yeah.
that crazy past. I find him fascinating. You have the kid that's really incredibly intelligent, and then the one that is kind of this brute with a wrench, right?
Yeah. I like him. Yeah.
I like the idea of that kid.
Any other Image stuff you want to touch on before we move on?
Uh, just that trade is worth getting, the vampire one. I like that one a lot. Um, I think the art in it and the colors are really cool, and the whole idea of a vampire making these humans vampires when he's not supposed to, and now he has to hunt down all the vampires he created, or they're
Yeah.
coming after him. I love that bloodstained teeth. I like that comic book quite a bit.
Yeah, it's great. That's a really good one. All right, let's head over to CBSI's Hot 10. And the number one is right in your wheelhouse. Spawn number one, the blank San Diego Comic Con variant, 1 in 1,500. It's a signed Todd McFarlane. Let's see, it looks like it's selling for 100, 150 unsigned, 175 to 200 signed. I bet you that'll go up.
Yeah, I would love to have a copy of that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I chased exclusives at C2E2, and that is an exhausting
It's
enterprise.
exhausting, and I don't like to do it, but I can see why you'd want to do it,
I can
because
see it. Yeah,
it could pay for your ticket. I mean, it could pay for some of your hotel and
and I'm not
maybe
saying
the
it wasn't
flight if you're
fun.
lucky.
It's fun if you get them, and then it's really fun if they hit. You know, but
Yeah,
I also way more enjoyed hanging out in all Artist Alley and just chit chatting with creators. So
yeah.
than running from booths and standing in lines. So I did it
Yeah,
once
my
and I enjoyed it.
con life has changed dramatically. Like I go to cons now and I'm like there very little. But I like it because it's such a social way to meet friends now. That's like my top priority. I used to schedule everything, and now I don't schedule anything. And I'm more comfortable doing it. Like I don't get anxiety or stressed out whether I'm going to get this art by this artist to do a commission. If he's going to give it to me by Sunday, or say I'll ship it to you, and then you have to wait months. I don't worry about that stuff anymore. So a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. The Mandalorian number one, the Adi Granov San Diego Comic Con black and white variant, $140. Quite pretty. It's Rodney Barnes and George Jaunty. Kind of nice.
Yeah, if you do both of those, if you waited in line for them, and you'd have be at like $340 right there.
Yeah, that would take care of your San Diego Comic Con ticket, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'd have press passes though, so we wouldn't have to pay.
I have
Grim.
never got a press pass before, but
Oh, you never have?
uh, I may have at one Baltimore Comic Con, but it was such a pain in the ass. I would never do it again.
I didn't have any problem with C2E2 and Wizard
Yeah,
Con.
I didn't
And
even try C2E2.
yeah, sometimes they are a hassle though, and you need to be affiliated with a publisher or something.
Yeah.
San Diego's probably the one that would be a challenge. Grim number one, the Veronica Fish San Diego Comic Con variant. This book has surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like it because I think was it you that mentioned that it was a Carmen ripoff?
Well, I say it feels like Carmen, like just the underall
Yeah, there's
art.
a lot of similarity there
There's
in the first couple of
similarity there, but it's different enough
yeah.
that I'm enjoying it. And plus, I like that after death kind of concept anyway, you
Mhm.
know.
Here's one that I've found in my box and threw up on eBay because it's heating up. Is the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons #1? I found that in my old long box and said, well, hell, I'll sell that for $40. So the trailers have dropped, and that's people are getting excited about it. So sell.
There you go.
At rank 5, we've got Space Usagi #1. Peach Momoko Gold Foil San Diego Comic-Con variant, limited to 500. This is going for $125.
A lot of San Diego in this top 10.
Yeah, like almost all of it. Rank 6 is Amazing Spider-Man, the J. Scott Campbell San Diego Comic-Con. It's nice. He's done better, but it's going for $150. I think all these come down, right? After people got the initial wave. They don't stay at $150, do they?
I've never
followed
been
up.
in the ratio variants to care. I wouldn't mind having them. I just
not gonna chase.
Yeah, and if I was at San Diego, I get very impatient in lines. Like
oh God, yeah.
They're like ridiculous, and if I waste an hour in a line, I'm like, that could have been time well spent somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
even flipping through long boxes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, or eating at the Gaslight District. I'd rather go do that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'd rather be in panels and cruising the floor and meeting. Like Artist Alley's one of my favorite things to do. So
now, if I had people, I'd have them wait in the lines and get me the stuff. I just need like assistance.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Well, your comics for your C4 FAP, you should be able to do that.
Interns.
Yeah.
Interns. I could have a global network of interns that go to every con representing C4 FAP and get me cool stuff. I love it. I think we're onto something. At rank 7, we got Harley Quinn, the Suzumayaki San Diego Comic-Con foil variant. I like her work. This is $100 to $125.
I would love to see that and not a picture, because the foil doesn't ever do justification as a picture.
Yeah,
like true. You have to see those in person.
Yeah. And there she is again at rank 8. Catwoman 45, the Suzumayaki 1 in 25 variant. This is just not a San Diego. This is a regular 1 in 25. This is beautiful. It's $90 to $100. Would be well worth a 1 in 25 price. At rank 9, we have Captain Marvel 39, the Guri Hiru San Diego Comic-Con variant.
It's with that shark, the Jeff the Land Shark.
Yep. Jeff
he has his own like Infinite comic.
Right.
If you're into digital.
I've sampled some Infinite comics. They're okay. I don't get the.
I have never done it on my phone. Maybe that's what they're designed for.
Yeah.
I've done it on my iPhone, and I just find it weird to be scrolling down. Yeah, it's just weird. It's bizarre.
And we have at rank number 10, rounding it out, we have the Invincible number 12, the Ryan Otley San Diego Comic-Con foil variant, limited to 250. And this is going for $150. It's a reprint. Very strange. Just an old book.
That's the 1 in 250 though.
Yeah.
There's only 250 copies in the whole world.
Well, plus the original.
And
so it's like
foil.
the second printing, right?
Yeah.
Or third printing or whatever. It's out now. We've also got something called More Outrage, the San Diego Comic-Con foil variant, limited to 100. This is a sketchbook by Frank Cho, selling for $200. And their old book in their honorable mention category is Beware number 9.
an AC Hollingsworth art piece, an 8.5, clocked in at $3,800. The new Overstreet app may want to get in this century, as it has it listed for $450 in this grade. That guy takes the same tack that Kyle does. I'm guessing.
That looks like a great cover, though. Like two water skiers behind a skeleton that's driving
This
them to
this
death.
is a comic that I would have picked up off the rack and been like, I gotta have this, mom, can I have this, please?
Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that cover. It's
that
really
would
good.
very, very cool. Now it's time to take a look at final order cutoff. This stuff's coming out in a couple of weeks. You get a chance to snag a copy, your final chance to snag a copy. And let's start in DC with items that you'll need to secure by the 24th. So we go to our friends at Lunar and take a look at some of the things that are being offered one last time. The new
Upcoming are you on the ones that are which date?
7/24.
7/24.
7/24.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sunday.
Okay.
Batman second printing for 125. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Chip's new foray into Batman again. I don't know if it was amazing, but it was pretty good. Are you current with World Finest?
No, but I will be, because we're covering it on DC Spotlight, so I have to catch up.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah, I look forward. I have to do it tonight or tomorrow.
There's plenty of covers to choose from for issue 6. I don't know if that'll be out
Yeah.
by the. Well, no. I guess you're going to read the first 5 issues.
Yep, if that's what's out.
Mm-hmm.
See, DC is interesting. I've fallen behind, but I buy it all. Like, there's
Right.
nothing I don't buy. So, yeah, I'm gonna get caught up in that this weekend.
Batman the Knight, issue 8. Federico cover's pretty interesting. Batman White Knight, Red Hood. That's some cool. The Jim Chung I kind of like. Not sure what's going on with the Simone de Mayo. We're just getting a shot of somebody on a bike. Just a part of them. It's weird. Weird choice.
Weird choice, but I freaking love the design on it, to tell you the truth.
I mean,
Because it's just so different. It's somebody riding a Robin bike.
Yeah.
And it's a female. It looks like a female leg.
Yeah, I think so, right? Black Adam.
Maybe it's Robin. I don't know.
It could be. This could be just muscular thighs. That's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not reading Black Adam. I skipped that one. But it does have some nice looking covers.
Why are you skipping? You don't like?
I just, cuts had to be made.
Ah.
So I bailed on Black Adam.
He's such a cool character, though. He's that shade of gray kind of character.
I mean, Christopher Priest and I, sometimes he works, sometimes he doesn't. So
yeah, his style. If you don't like it,
we're not 100%.
It's always the same, with those words in the middle and flash back and flash forward and flash sideways.
Yeah,
you gotta be ready for it.
There's a Catwoman 46 Suzumayaki cardstock variant, which she's looking pretty seductive on. That might be of interest to folks. People like the Jeff DeCal swimsuit variants, so that cover C could be hot as well.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's nice as well. Very cool.
Ooh, Tula Late. I love that woman.
Yeah, that's pretty great too.
She is one of the nicest women to ever meet. Just pleasurable to talk to.
I mean, aren't all women creators pretty awesome though?
No, some of them, that I've absolutely adored have been real, not, I could say like they're introvert, or they seem really introvert.
Oh.
And then there's some that are really extrovert. And
Like who?
Tulu Lute is extrovert.
So who's the introverts?
I'd rather not say, but
Come on, let's out them.
I kind of got commissions from them, and it was really hard to get a word out of them. Like, I love their work and stuff, but they were heads down, kind of, I'm working kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Dark Crisis, Young Justice @3. I gotta read that. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I bounced on that too.
I like the Young Justice. At least Peter David's Young Justice.
I haven't given up on DC versus Vampires though. I've been enjoying that. All the different iterations. It's been fun.
Oh, I do like that. Miss Marvel.
Yeah. The Leslie lyrics.
Mary Marvel. God, it looks great.
Yeah. And the
she does a lot of Dynamite covers.
Death Rage cover. Holy moly. 1 in 50?
Yeah, they're interesting because I supported their Kickstarter, so I already have that issue. But if you're into like 90s type artwork, you really dig this.
Looks like a Avatar cover. Risque foil.
Yeah, they have a lot of them, but they were kickstarted, so this is double dipping for them.
Hey, that's what they do.
They've already made their money. I think that if I was a publisher, that's what I would try to do, because you got these people that are willing to spend a lot on Kickstarters to support you, and then you're just making extra money by being a publisher later on. And
well, that's what you should do with the guesser. Yeah. So you need to do.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll do that if I can.
Yeah. So you got to kickstart the guesser, and then
I really feel bad about that, because it is really almost done, and I guess I feel bad most for Zach, the guy who drew it, because it's not out there.
But you paid him.
I paid him. I did pay him.
So.
I paid a colorist to do the cover. I just.
But you said you're going to do the lettering yourself. Why didn't you just hire the lettering done?
I don't know. I'm already like $2,000 or $2,500 in the hole, so.
That's like a month of your comics, though. So what does that matter?
Just go for it. I don't know. It's just a lot of work. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever do it again.
But it's 90% done.
If I could do my own, if I could do my own art and my own lettering and my own, I would just like it a lot more, I think, if I could control but I can't draw worth a damn. So
you got 2,500 in it with the art and the coloring. That's not bad.
Yeah,
it's 20-page book.
Funny. I think it's 22.
22 pages. Okay. It's called The Guesser. What's the little? Give me the elevator pitch.
Oh, I don't want to yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
But if you, it's the elevator pitch is the guy who lost.
We don't have to spoil it. Okay, that's good enough. We won't spoil it. We'll wait till it gets on Kickstarter, and then we'll advertise the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm probably gonna say like minimal target is like $500, because I think I could hit that.
Well, you can't afford to print it for $500 now.
That's the problem. I haven't even thought of that, but I don't care. I guess this is the point where, like, if making comics was my life, I would care.
Right.
But this
you just want to do one.
This is I just want to do it and say I've done it.
Now, is Bill's done?
Bill's farther. Yeah, he's farther.
Is he on Kickstarter yet?
No. He's gone through the art. He's gone through the lettering. He has the cover. He has the logo. I think all he needs to do is put it together and
find a printer.
And find a printer. Yeah, I think I think that's all he has, and then to do all the Kickstarter work behind it.
Are you guys gonna kickstart at the same time?
No,
Okay.
he'll probably hit before me just because I'm lazy
He's a little further
and I
ahead.
procrastinate. He's done other stuff before, like his webcomic he did with his son. So he has stuff in his in print. And he did a movie, like he's written like a short movie before. So he's got some stuff out there. So I have more faith in him getting something out than myself. Yeah.
I think it'll be awesome though when you get it done, just to say I not only do I love comics so much I actually made my own
Yeah,
and
that's
sold 2,000 copies. That's pretty cool.
well, I'll probably sell like 100 just to family, like just in,
I don't know,
because
man.
my family knows that this is my life,
Right.
and the fact that I did something, they would support the hell out of it.
Remind me who the artist was. Can you tell me that
His
again?
name is Zach Bassett.
Zach Bassett.
He works for Cosmic Times a lot,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
I post a lot of my commissions out there. He's done a lot of them. Like if it's like the Freedom Fighters or Shadow Pact, he's done, like he did my Watchmen piece, which is like brilliant because it's like has Rorschach in the middle, and half of him's Rorschach and half of him's the Question. And then you have like Captain Atom and Dr. Manhattan on the opposite sides of each other. And, just all the different Charlton characters in the Watchmen mashups. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I want you to hire a damn letterer, get Chris Eliopoulos to letter the damn thing, and let's go. I want to get my copy pre-ordered.
Yeah, I should get off my ass. Me and Bill keep talking about it, but the whole concept of it was basically a podcast. I made up 2 comics, The Guesser and First and and he came up with the liquor. So yeah.
This sprung forth from a conversation. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a podcast. So, and then it kind of became reality. And then if I ever get like a week or 2 off, I think it'll get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you write like full script, like panel 1, page 1, panel 1? The guesser is standing on a mountaintop, looking down upon.
It's a very interesting script. I might put that in his back matter if I can afford it. But
Yeah.
I started off with like an Alan Moore type style, which is very detailed. If you've ever seen an Alan Moore script,
Right, exactly.
And then it turned into a Stan Lee
Marvel method.
Marvel.
Like,
so it's kind of fun because I played with that.
That's awesome.
So like there's like hyper detailed, and then it turns into like
these 2 guys fight. Do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, I let Zach cut loose on the fight scene. Like I just said, this is what I want. Like I want the fight to go like this, and I want this and this, and then he controlled the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want one of the stretch goals to be a Cheerwine stained issue with your smudge signature on it.
Yeah, it'll have a Cheerwine ring on it,
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see if Lunar has anything else for us. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I think it'll be fun. And then you can pitch it as a one shot and get it in Diamond in previews. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I'll try to do that, but I'll be happy if I can
break even.
No, I don't even think that's possible. But I think if I could hit like 500 or 1,000, because I don't think I'm gonna have like 100 tiers, and I'm not gonna buy stickers and have all this crazy shit.
Digital copies, print copies, signed copies, boom.
Yeah, it's gonna be simple, but so it being simple is also harder to hit a big number. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
Hey, you could give away some of those spawn number ones that you got. The
that's
stretch goal.
true. That's true. If you buy this level, you get a spawn number 1
Yep, yep.
because those are hot now.
Exactly.
There's a Miss Meow second printing. That's that same company that's doing Death Rage.
Okay.
That
And
was a
they kickstarted it
Kickstarter.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that Derek Chew.
And they're
Very cool.
expensive Kickstarters, man. They're like $20 to like just to get the book.
Yeah, and like you said, I know shipping and handling is a bear and printing's a bear now, but it's tough to justify spending that much for a single comic, right?
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have to do the same thing, right? You're probably going to be over $10, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lose money on shipping because I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy the mailers and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go cheap on the shipping because I don't want my comics to be damaged. Because I hate these guys that do media mail in an envelope and then you get it like a Kickstarter and you spent, I don't know, 10 to 15 bucks and it's all dented and looks like the mailman ran over it twice. I don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Santos Sisters, I haven't read my copy yet, but it looks awesome.
You current on Nightwing?
No, I'm not.
So good.
You can get the Nicola Scott bathing suit there.
Well, yeah, it's the only one I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just lay on it.
He's got some serious abs, I'll tell you that.
That's like a 12 pack?
That's like a 12 pack.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know they existed.
I've seen Nicola Scott tweet about him, you know, so this is probably like, I'll do that cover.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a Nightwing fan.
Sandman #1 facsimile edition, which is perfect because I sold my original copy, so that'll fit right into the collection lovely. Perfectly.
Yeah. I still got my original. Playthings, that was a scary thing if you don't like scary toys. It's pretty frightening.
Hey, Human Target's back. We were just talking about this.
The one shot. It's a break between the issues 1 through 6, and then he's gonna do 7 through 12.
Oh,
after
nice.
this. Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I like the world. I like the characters a lot. Hope he doesn't die.
He's one of those characters that, you know, started off as a backup and really made it in TV because he's had the Rick Springfield's Human Target miniseries, and then he had the Fox show, which was excellent.
Yeah.
It had the guy that was in Rorschach playing one of the characters, and it was a really good show. The Tragedy of Macbeth. Who's the publisher on this one?
Oh, that's strange, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, $5.99.
And this is public domain, right? You don't have to pay crap for this.
Yeah, I think this looks like a Cloverfield book, but and the fact that they have Terry and the Pirates, I bet you it is Cloverfield. I just can't zoom in on the graphic. Because Terry and the Pirates is Cloverfield, so I bet you these guys not only have Scout and some of the others, I bet you they have Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if they're not exclusive or not. It might be in Diamond as well. We'll have to see if it's over there. Let's look right now. If you're done in Lunar, go over to the final orders for July 25th. So those were for the 24th. These are due on the 25th. This is
Image in the rest. We've got 20th Century Men #1. It's an extra long first issue by Dennis Camp. Only $3.99, but it's a mech book. I don't like mech books.
I didn't used to, and now I do.
Really?
Kaiju and mech, yeah.
Yeah.
didn't used to be a fan, and now in my
evolved.
old age,
You've evolved.
it's one of those like G.I. Joe things and Ninja Turtles.
Oh, getting a crossover 3D special. Hate that it's $9, but I'm still gonna probably want to read it.
Bloodstained Teeth 5.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Really good, cool concept.
Do a Power Bomb. I'm looking forward to reading. I think
Yeah.
we'll cover that on Geek Brunch if I could get Bill to agree to it.
It was a good one. First one, I enjoyed it.
He's a big wrestling fan, so
Oh, he'll like it for sure then.
he doesn't watch wrestling, but he watches all the documentaries about wrestling. I love Bill. He's such a unique dude. God.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love
Nice.
hearing you guys talk for 4 hours every other week.
Really, that show is 4 hours because we like to talk to each other, or else I'd cut it quick. But Gunslinger Spawn, this is my favorite Spawn book because it's Western. Yet it's a Western character in contemporary times, but it's really good. And Brett Booth's art has never looked better. It looks incredible. His layouts are amazing. Plus, it's the only Spawn book that Todd McFarlane is writing. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just a consultant dialogue on the rest of them.
Well, the cover artist for this one is Puppeteer Lee. That's the guy's name, Puppeteer Lee.
That's a cool name.
That is.
He's not only an artist, but he's a puppeteer.
Yeah. If the art thing doesn't work out.
Speaking of Spawn and all the great 90s Image, there's the last Shadowhawk.
Right.
Looking forward to that. I just wish that Valentino was more involved with it, but he's not, unfortunately.
I believe I have a signed Shadowhawk #1 from Valentino somewhere.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You should put that up for sale so I can buy it.
I might gift that to you. It'd probably have a better home with you than it would with me. You would appreciate it more. I know you'd never sell the damn thing.
Because he was Guardians of the Galaxy, doing that book on Marvel before he came over to do Shadowhawk.
Yeah.
And Shadowhawk is awesome because he was like this violent vigilante that was breaking people's backs. And he had the AIDS virus. I mean, kind of like the Spectre book back in the day when AIDS was a very scary disease,
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Shadowhawk, he's really cool. Newburn is really good, and that's a trade paperback.
I loved it. I love Newburn a lot. It's really great. I mean, I'm in the bag for any noir books. I love them all. So it's like it's my 90s Image. Anything crime noir, I'm like, oh yeah, drool. Yeah, 4th issue of Grimm. I really like it. Really like it. Surprised.
Yeah, I got to meet Stephanie Phillips. She's in an Aftershock panel.
Really?
C2E2. Yeah, it was a really good panel. We had one of my questions was I asked the Aftershock panel what their favorite candy bar ingredient was, and me and Bill were having this argument like big time before eating pizza. whether nougat was going to show up on people's top. I said
Nobody's
no,
gonna
it won't.
nobody's selected.
Nobody's going to pick nougat. And sure enough, 2 of the people in the panel picked nougat. And I'm like, damn it.
Just to be, because it's a funny sounding word, I think.
Yeah, I don't
Nobody
know.
really
They
likes
picked it.
nougat. Nobody really knows what nougat is or likes it. Oh,
It's
Bill, you
almost
you should
it's
have
in a
won.
lot of candy bars, but I don't know a lot of people that call that out as their favorite ingredient.
Right.
Because I asked the favorite ingredient, and chocolate's included.
Yes.
I mean, it just
If it's
it
not
doesn't
chocolate or
like
peanut butter, I mean, you're not even trying.
one of the things I tell Bill is he's very pretentious. So it's like you just pick that because you're being pretentious.
Yep. Yep.
And it was a fun question because they all got into it.
Yeah, they're probably sick of hearing about comic
About
questions all day, right?
questions, yeah. So,
IDW is IDW losing? They're losing Star Wars, or they've lost Star Wars
they
already?
already lost Star Wars. Star Wars is a Dark Horse.
Okay. So good for Dark Horse, at least. They got something back.
I don't know what Disney's doing because I just saw from San Diego Comic-Con that Dynamite got some Disney properties like Gargoyles. So, like, I don't know if Dynamite's going to start publishing some Disney books.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if, like, Dark Horse is just the Star Wars license, maybe, I guess. IDW is
what's going on
really-
with Conan? Like, Conan's
going back to the original, the people who own it. And the reason they can get away with doing Savage Avengers is because he's public domain, but because the Hyperion Age or whatever the heck it is, like when he was king and when he was doing certain things, they cannot publish it for that time period because that stuff is not in public domain yet. So there's some stories that they can't touch. But if they have like Conan with a bunch of superheroes, that's something brand new. Like there's nothing to protect it. So the lawyers are going to let that go, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Leave it to Disney lawyers to outfox paying royalties.
Well, Blaze is doing it too. I mean, they call their book Sumerian, so
yeah,
they might go by different rules because it's overseas, but I don't think the publisher is overseas. I think the book was done overseas.
Yeah, corporate law. I don't know. I don't understand it. Down at Marvel, we've got All Out Avengers #1. Oh, that's a poster. Forget it. We've got Amazing Spider-Man #8. This new iteration of Spider-Man, I'm enjoying it a lot.
Really Me too. Stuff. I'm a JRJR nut though, so. And yeah, I like the idea of crime too, like with Tombstone and the Rose and.
Tombstone is a great rogue. He's really great.
Yeah, and I'm not caught up, but I read issue 3 where Tombstone was like beating the crap out of him the whole issue. But yeah, I'm enjoying that book.
And the people that hate JRJR, I don't understand it. I mean, I can understand you see this face and it doesn't look like you think a face should look in comics. I get it, but it's good art. Still, it's just a different style.
I think it goes back to the discussion we had. If you're into anatomy, like full anatomy rendering, he breaks the rules, but so did Jack Kirby. So like I think his layouts are like some of the most dynamic Jack Kirby layouts, and the way Jack Kirby would like lay a punch or you know just show something look 3D and dynamic. I think he's coming from like that Jack Kirby school, and that's why I love his art is mostly the layouts that he does to tell a story. Even if it's talking heads, I think he does it well. So I love his stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all that he's has a style. that's different. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've read Matt Kent's book with his art's very stylistic, and
Yeah,
you
and you've
know,
read like Hit Girl and Kick Ass and
yeah. So there's lots of like stylistic people I don't mind.
but you can go back to like his X-Men, like when he first was breaking in right after his father, and he was more atomically correct, with anatomy.
Yeah.
He was more in the house style. He I think right now he's in his own style. Like he's drawing the way he wants to at the pace he wants to.
Right.
And I like that because it's more natural.
And we've got Damage Control. Oh, they've had a 4-issue series before, right? Mini
Well, they've had a
series.
couple
They've had a
series,
couple.
yeah. And they
Um,
were in Miss Marvel.
and they, yeah, that it was
Very aggressive type version of them.
not the heroes of the story for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But they got Moon Knight on the cover, so I've got to check this out, whether I was going to or not. Now I'm going to have to.
If you're a fan of the Goldbergs, you want to check it out. It's Adam Goldberg writing it.
Yeah, Adam F, right?
He's great too. He's done a lot of Zenescope work, and me and Bill love his stuff at Zenescope. So
Okay. All right.
he's a proven commodity in our eyes for sure. Another
Fortnite book.
Defenders.
Yeah.
The Fortnite. I like to open those up so I could send my nephew the codes because he gets so happy with them.
Oh yeah, free skins, man.
He doesn't care about the comic book. I tried to put him. I was on vacation once with him, and I was trying to read him the DC Fortnite, and then he's like, "Are we done yet? Can I get the code?" It was like pure torture until he actually had the code.
Yeah. I remember I tried that with my daughter. I got her the Snot Girl graphic novel when they collected those first 6 issues, and I was like, I think you'll like this. It's got a lot of fashion in it. It's about fashion and this girl, and she's kind of
got boogers dripping out of her nose.
Yeah, but and she's like, Dad, I don't want to read this. I'm like, all right, I tried. Forget it.
Yeah, I gave up. I didn't think it would be that hard. I thought I would get him into it because it had all the Fortnite characters, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, anything else in Marvel?
I am glancing at some of the Star Wars stuff. See if anything pops out at me. Super hot. No, I don't think so.
They're all first appearances. They're all hot.
Yeah, just buy it
first
all.
appearance of somebody in the background, so just buy them all.
Buy them all, stick them in a box. How about The Boys? You've been watching The Boys? You current?
No, I haven't.
I'm almost.
Me and Barb have it on the queue. We were watching Old Man on Hulu.
She okay with like gross?
Oh yeah.
Risque stuff because it pushes the envelope.
She's all into that kind of stuff. I mean, we watched Spartacus and the Stars Spartacus.
I haven't seen that one.
She's seen Oz on HBO for Christ's sake, and if you can watch that,
that's true. Anything. That's true. Yeah, if you're okay with that, then that's fine. Yeah, but it's like I don't watch it with my wife. I'm just like I can't explain what he's doing with that octopus.
I don't need to explain because she knows a lot about comic books, even if she's not willing to admit it. I could put at least, I think, 50% of the Marvel and DC characters in front of her, and she could name them.
Yeah, I would be at like 1%.
She'd be hard pressed to know, certain things, but she sees statues all over the house. She knows what's going on.
Lady Hell #1. What is this?
Yeah, that one's got some brilliant covers there.
Eric Burnham. I like him.
Perillo is the cover I always get. because I'm all in on Dynamite. I just love their catalog, and their interiors have really improved lately. They used to have like sort of like house artists that
Yeah.
just got the job done, and then they'd have good writers, like well-named writers you would see on the Dynamite books. But the interiors were kind of generic, kind of like a Zenescope interior. Like they spent all their money on the covers, and they've been really good lately, like extremely good interiors.
And you know what? That's one of those things where I just do not have a hole in my reading to add those.
Yeah, they're acquired taste though.
You
I don't know
know,
if
yeah.
you they I don't know if you would dig them. Because Red Sonja is Red Sonja. Like
Right. And
you're not.
I've enjoyed
Mark
Red Sonja's
Russell.
in the past.
Now I would say that you would have loved Mark Russell's Red
I read
Sonja.
all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
good stuff. Because he had not only like your classic Red Sonja story from beginning to end, but he had all these underlying themes that I just love, like that are just telling a story at so many other levels. Because that's
Oh
what he
yeah.
does.
Yeah, that's what he I'm all in on whatever Mark Russell does. So
He's my favorite creator.
he's great.
Period right now, and the reason is I can see how he could be if you're on the other side of
The fence,
politics.
Yeah.
He's on my side, so like I get so much out of it, but he explores like the other side in other ways to make you think about it, and it's sort of in a well-rounded way. So I actually think when I read one of his comics, I have to process it. Like I
Yeah.
put it down and I like get like 7 or 8 messages, and it's like one of those things that I was like, God, I want to talk to somebody about this. I don't digest. It takes me like 24 hours to digest one of his books, like fully, and I can't say that for every 5-minute, 10-minute book that
Yeah,
I read.
I think Billionaire Island was just like I was like, oh okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
us.
so many
Yeah.
levels. Yeah,
We're on the hamster wheel. Oh shit.
yeah. But yeah, I adore him.
He's great. This Forever Forward looks really good. It's Zach Kaplan. I really like Zach Kaplan a lot. He's one of those guys that you meet at a con and you just like, man, what a cool dude. Really,
Didn't he work a lot with Lonnie Nadler? Didn't they used to be a team?
maybe that sounds right. He did.
And they're both good.
He did Eclipse, which I really liked. He's doing that Metal Society. He did another robot futuristic thing that was really good. So
I like him.
he does a lot of sci-fi stuff. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like his level of storytelling. They're pretty in depth too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In terms of like I need to digest kind of stories.
And he's kind of like Charles Soule too. A lot of high concept. Throws some ideas out there. Does 5-6 issues. Sees if it catches fire. If not, moves on. Comes up with another one. The type. That's the like if I was ever in the position where I wasn't having to work just for my supper, that'd be the kind of creator I'd want to be. Is try it, do 3 or 4 issues, see if it resonates with anybody. If not, try something else. Don't milk that thing forever. These Frank Frazetta Death Dealers, I believe, are like the children.
God, I love that book.
Or the grandchildren, maybe, of Frank Frazetta that are involved in this. So there's some connection to the family there.
Yeah, I dig this book so much. Like
really?
Artistically, it's brilliant.
Yes. I like the art.
Looks amazing, but it's such a good like story too. Like I really like what Opus Comics is doing. Like I've read 3 of their titles and I really like what they're doing, even though most of their titles are music based.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it, even if I don't like the music.
Jimmy's Little Bastards. Jimmy's Bastard is back with a spin-off. That was a good book by Aftershock.
Horror Comics has been brilliant lately. From
Who is it?
Antarctic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a great anthology. They're getting a lot of weird, like European comics. Like there's a Dracula Western going on right now in horror comics.
Cool.
And it is so good. And it's black and white, and the art is amazing in it. I really like horror comics a lot. I like them all. The theme comics, Planet Comics, Exciting Comics,
Yeah.
Jungle Comics. There's another Jungle Comics.
It's like the old school, genre comics that were on the spinner racks, man.
Yep, that's what they're based on. And it's an interesting paradigm too, because at least in Exciting Comics, they advertise like, if you want to be in this book, you can make a submission kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's pretty cool. And Exciting is kind of like their superheroes. Planet Comics is obviously their sci-fi, horror is horror, and Jungle's jungle. But they're all really well done. And there's not too many jungle comics out there, but it is really good. And most of my jungle things come from Kickstarters, because there's a lot of Kickstarters with jungle people.
Really?
But that's how I have to get my fix.
Can't just have one. Now, I don't know if you've read. I think you're all in on AWA, right?
Yes, AWA.
Yeah, the New Think. The first issue was it's like an anthology examination of technology.
Yeah.
In our culture. And the first one was all about phones, iPhones, or smartphones, and
should be interesting, because it rules a lot of people's lives.
It was so so smart and well written, and it's like you were talking about Mark Russell, and you're like, you put it down, and you're like, oh man, that was deep. That was good.
I like to read those kind of stories on Saturday morning when my mind is like fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like right before bed, I'll throw in some dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Where I can just look at the pictures.
Yeah. I do want to point out Man, Goat, and Bunny Man. This is an awesome comic book from Zenoscope, and they have this FOC variant, the Green Eggs and Blam.
Yeah.
Which is an off-take of the Dr. Seuss covers. So, yeah, that's an incentive, but it's probably obtainable because it's a 1 in 10.
Yeah, $10. That's not bad for a 1 in 10, and you'll double your money because the last one did.
Yeah.
I can't believe Dr. Seuss covers are still being homaged, but.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that. It was great to hear from Eric, by the way, because, man, I haven't talked to Eric in. It's been a year. I talked to him the last time I talked to him, he had the COVID.
Yeah.
And I was just checking on him during the week, how's it going? You feeling any better? And then as soon as I listened to your episode, I was just like texting him, just see, hey, I just wanted to catch up. How are you doing? Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. We were talking. We were like, when's the last time we talked? It's been a long time. So
yeah,
it was nice to catch up. And I'll talk to him again next week.
Yeah, there you go.
We
Planet
won't have
Comics,
anything to say
there
since
it
we're
is
all caught
up. Planet Comics has I really wish I could drop the extra $5 and get the Plan 9 from Outer Space cover B, because I'm such a fan of Ed Wood and his crappy movies.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's on brand for you. That you would like those movies. Now, are all these like Antarctic genre comics? Are they
a continuing story? Are they tiny stories that are like continued in each issue, or are they just stand alone one story and then it goes away and there's a new story next week?
They're different. Exciting Comics is like a anthology of 4 stories,
Okay.
and they're all rotating. So it's almost like heavy metal. Like you might be part 2 in one story and part 1 in another story, and so that one's more anthology. So it's a little harder to like jump into.
Yeah.
Horror Comics is kind of like a 3-issue arc of something. So there'll be like 3 issues that focus on Dracula Western, and then 1 issue that focuses on like horror Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But they're more like a 3-issue arc, so you can jump in every 3rd issue or whatever.
Yeah.
Jungle Comics is, it depends. It's sometimes an anthology, sometimes not. Planet Comics is an anthology, so it's like 3-4 stories. So horror comics is the only one that kind of breaks the mold.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm gonna check them out. That sounds right up my alley. The horror.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
just might be, you gotta catch the right. If you're gonna try it, just read the preview and see where it's at.
Yeah.
See if it's a jumping on point. Red Man, I know you don't like your giant mech, and all I can say is this guy who did it is incredible with art. I mean, he was phenomenal drawing this book. His name is Matt Frank, and he's a whole, like, his love is Ultraman and Red
Okay.
Man and all this stuff. So he's drawing from passion. So this is really good if you're into that stuff.
Okay. It does look good. I like the look of it.
West of Sundown was hot at once. I don't know if it still is.
Have you selected something that is your FOC spec pick of the week?
I'm torn between 2 of them, but I think I'm going with G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero 297.
Okay.
What you'll find out is they're about to hit 300 and lose the license. 300 will be overprinted because it's a milestone issue. But the issues right before it, 297, 298, they're going to be low print run. And G.I. Joe has a high following. And if you ever look at the cost of penultimate issues, and
you're right,
they're really, you spend a lot on issues 1 and couple, and then the end of the series, because the print run is so low, and this is getting to that point.
You're gonna go with that cover B with that big group shot, right?
Yeah.
That is pretty.
No, I'm going with cover A, because cover A is, in my eyes, the way to go.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
Because plus I'm a fan of the artist. Like, I know him as a friend.
Shannon Gallant.
Yeah, Shannon. He's an amazing dude.
Very cool.
That's a dude I can talk to at a con for hours, because he's from my generation, and we could talk about Aaron Gray and the Bionic Woman and Linda Carter for days.
Okay, I gotta decide between Soza Miyake Catwoman and a new Zach Kaplan. I think I'll go with the new Zach Kaplan, Forever Forward. Tough one. That was a tough one. What was your other one that you were flip flopping on?
It's a big investment, but it's the Wonder Woman Volume 5 Golden Age.
Oh.
Those books are very low print run, especially once you get past issue 1. And after you wait about 5 years, they're about double. So like, if you invest $100, you're going to get $200 at a minimum.
Yeah.
So
It's like artist editions, IDW artist editions, man.
Yeah.
You might as well buy those at 125 because they'll be out of print and they'll be $250, $300
Yep.
if you got the space for giant books to store somewhere.
Yeah, and in terms of the Wonder Woman Golden Age, like who's going to be able to afford that, So
Yeah.
they're going to want collected editions if somebody's reading, and sometimes the number 1 is easy to get, like the volume 1, and then those get reprinted, but then you have to worry about volume 2, 3, and 5, and the higher you get up there, the higher the risk that it will never be reprinted.
Yeah. It's all the Perez stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably awesome. I know I've read some of this. I have.
No, not the Perez stuff. This is Golden Age.
Oh,
the
the Golden
Perez
Age.
stuff. The Perez stuff is you might get a lot for volume 1, but the fact of the matter that it's Perez is
We'll keep it in print.
they'll keep it in print. This is already the second volume.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because I already own the first one.
Oh.
And the fact that he's like kind of like a legend.
Yeah.
They're gonna reprint his Titans, his Wonder Woman, his Crisis on Infinite Earths over and over again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, if it's Wonder Woman, George Perez Volume 2, then you'd be at risk of not getting a second print. That's when you have to start watching out as the number increases. That's how you invest in hardcovers.
And that's a big roll of the dice over a $2 frickin' pre-order of a comic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a $50, $60 roll of the dice on that. Well, some of those aren't even discounted that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the omnibuses though are discounted pretty high.
Yeah.
We're talking at least 50% off.
Yeah.
Or 40% off.
I'm thinking of like IDW's artist editions.
Artist editions like 10% or 15%.
Yeah.
Because the store's return on investment isn't a lot.
Yeah, or they're always like, please inquire on the pricing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh Jesus, that's never good.
They're so big though. Good Lord, they're hard to store.
I can't even imagine where I'd put mine.
I have the Kirby ones, and they're huge.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. And that's back in the day, man, when you probably see blue lines and tape and all kinds of cool stuff on those.
Yeah, writing on the sides,
yeah,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, let's go take a look at cover prices, top 10, and runners up. As the guest, would you like to take the top 10?
Sure.
All right.
I just have to pull it up on my phone. All right, starting at 10, we got 8 Billion Genies, number 1. No surprise. The Super Mario homage. So if you're a Super Mario fan, that you'd probably want that. But that's limited to 500, so it probably was expensive.
Yeah.
But it's 400 raw. That's pretty high.
That's pretty high.
But there's your FMV term there that you love so much.
I hate it.
I thought you loved it.
No. I know. I know it's hard to read.
I thought you came up with that term. I thought these were your friends at these are your friends at coverprice.com.
Yeah, I don't say it anymore.
All right, so we got a G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero 295, John Royale cover, retailer incentive. So these are the 1 in 10s.
Yeah.
And this one's going for $50 for a raw copy. Probably a good return on investment, being it's only a 1 in 10. 12 copies. I always wonder this though. I don't know if you ever wonder this because you do cross the line into speculation. I don't, but I always wonder because I follow this forum or whatever on Facebook,
Hmm.
and I'm wondering if the speculator is driving the cost of these things because I saw this guy he posted, well, did I hit good? And he posted like 80 copies of 8 billion genies. So is he the guy that's
Yeah.
driving the number up on eBay? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Is he the individual that's like stockpiling these, waiting for the movie to come out and it's making it hot? And it's just one dude. It's not
Now,
everybody.
and he didn't pre-order 80 copies. So
Right.
he scammed 80 copies from various stores around
Or
and
went to eBay,
websites.
maybe, possibly. Because
Possibly. And like,
let's say if he got an 8 billion genies for, I don't know, $15. He figures he can make that $30 when that thing's released on Amazon, right? Like right before, when there's actors associated with it, he's going to double his money and he's got 20 of those copies. That's a
or,
lot of money.
or does he go to like Midtown and say I want 80 copies of 8 billion genies before they realize that what they have.
That could be, but you have to be quick on the draw before stores that big know something's going on.
Right. Like if you do that with Mile High, they just won't fill your order. And they
Yeah,
say they lost it.
and those big stores and even a lot of these little stores, they're savvy on that. They're following this thread and they watch the YouTube videos to know
Yeah.
what's driving it. So they know kind of, if they're smart, like what to pull out of their back issue boxes or
Yeah.
pull off their shelf
And then
and put it
I
put
told
it
you
on
what
the
our
wall.
I told you what our LCS does. They
Yeah.
don't price their back issues anymore. You just bring them up and they look them up on eBay, which I'm just like, you can keep it, dude. If
Yeah,
if if you
I
can't be
could go to eBay and do that.
if you can't be bothered to run your shop, you can f the hell off because no, that's not how you run that's not how you run a retail store. Like Starbucks doesn't say, wait, let me see what the coffee beans are in Costa Rica right now. No, they have a price right there on the board that tells you how much it is. So that stuff drives me crazy.
It happens pretty frequently. I just wish I would have gotten my Gwenpool first. I mean, Spider Gwen
No
for
kidding.
$7
Right?
instead of what it is now. Yeah.
Right. I have so many sad stories of things that I passed on and regretted. But still, I've got enough stuff. I'm fine.
Yeah. Plus, it helps pay for what you spend, I guess.
Yeah.
So if your goal is like
Break even.
Aaron Myers is if he can fund his hobby by selling his stuff, then that's if he could break even, that's good.
Oh, he's much better at. He's not breaking even. He's making money.
Yeah.
He's much better at it than I
He's
am.
going to those estate sales and weird hotel rooms to get his books though.
Yeah.
So he's risking his life at the same time.
Does he have a real job, or is this all he does?
Yes. I think he's a IT specialist at a university, if I have to guess.
Probably works from home a lot.
Star Wars, Darth Vader number 20, Chris Sprouse, Lucasfilm 50th anniversary. Why is this hot? Is it The Mandalorian? The Mandalorian number 2 is the cover appearance is being picked up again. So this is hot. Marvel put Din Djarin and Grogu on the cover, so that's what's driving it.
Okay, yeah. So this is.
And that's a high sale of $100 for a CG's. How do people get these graded so fast? I hear horror stories from timelines of grading stuff. And
You got to pay the premium rush price.
but I even heard I was listening to, I don't know, a podcast called Gods and Monsters and something like that, and they're CGC dudes. They like mail this stuff off all the time, and one of them has like a premium membership, is still waiting on stuff, and I don't get that.
Well, I mean premium membership, but then there's also different pricing tiers. So there's also the rush pricing tier. So like you can pay $25 for your modern to be graded, or you can pay $50 for your modern to be graded, and it gets done in 2 weeks.
It just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So little.
Seems like a scam.
In my opinion, because I have to pack it, I have to ship it, pay shipping. It has to get, well, I don't know if you want to pay for pressing and all that other stuff, but if you go for that route, that's even more money. And then you get it shipped back, and they can damage stuff during the pressing. They could damage stuff while their dirty fingers are touching it, and then say it was you, and then slab it back and you were thinking a 9.8 and it's a 9.6 or a 9.2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're paying for the shipping back. It just seems like a nightmare. And then you have to deal with the post office or FedEx and who's delivering it, stressed out about that. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work.
It is, but your raw materials are, if you bought low, and you get the 9.8, you're making.
I'm still exhausted thinking
double,
about it.
triple your money easily.
I can't even letter my own comic, and you're telling me to go the CGC route.
I'm not telling you to. I'm saying I understand why people do it. I don't do it because I don't want to wait. I don't like the process at all.
Yeah.
It seems weird and delayed and slow and not consistent. So I don't like anything about it. But I get it, because I get people like the security of purchasing it, and I get the return on investment and how much exponentially you can make on you got 10 spawn number ones, send them 4 of them. You see how many come back as 9.8s. Those 9.8s are going to be what, $300? Easy.
It's not the worst of the cost of my time. I guess it's not.
That's $1,000. That's what you can do with $1,000. You can hire a letterer.
That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to pay more for the lettering than I do the art. If that makes any sense. Or I don't want to pay more for the interior coloring. I only have the cover color.
You won't pay more for the lettering. The lettering.
The coloring is pretty expensive, man.
Yeah, coloring might be, but that'll be
I don't know if that's why I haven't even made I don't even know if I'm going to make it black and white, because I've poked around in the coloring and it's expensive.
But you colored the cover.
I did.
Yeah.
Betty and Veronica, Friends Forever. I know about this one, Summer Surf Party, because I have it. But this is a bunch of first appearances of new Archie characters.
You skipped a Yanu.
Oh, did I? Oh, this one's interesting because this one is Unique Studios, and it was a Halloween Comic Fest freebie. And I did buy this, but I bought it from Dark Horse. I think reprinted this.
Oh.
So I think I own a trade of this, but this is like the first. I went to go look to see if I had it, and I didn't, disappointingly. But for some reason, I always get offered the free comic book day books, but never the Comic Fest ones. So
I always forget about those.
Seem to miss these.
Yeah.
But this one's a high sale of $200. That's pretty good for a 9.8 freebie.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah.
That's pretty great. So maybe that was worth your time.
Yeah.
To probably an hour of work, right?
Yeah, I still wouldn't ship it to get CGC, but yeah, I get it.
8 Billion Genies, number 1. This one I do own. You own it too.
Multiples, yeah.
Number 5. This
Not
is
80.
the standard
I don't
cover.
have 80 copies.
But that's a pretty good return on investment if you could just get it like $35 for a raw copy.
Yeah.
And you got it at discount. You got it for
so I paid
what, 40% off?
Yeah, I paid 2, could sell it for 30. That's pretty good.
There you go. That's good.
But do you sell it or do you save it until the show comes out?
I say save it because I think you wait right before the show comes out because it seems like things decrease after.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know because I'm not selling my copy.
What if the show goes into turnaround and never gets made?
I do not think that's going to happen with Amazon. I think if it went somewhere else, it would. I think Amazon's pretty serious when they buy a property. But we'll see. Yeah. I like the concept of this. I loved how the bartender, his wish was like, if you come into my bar, none of that stuff's going to pertain. Like that's like smart thinking ahead of time.
Yeah, because other
chaos is happening out the window, man.
Other entire cities are getting blown up, so it does make sense.
Yeah, and then there's that poor girl that wanted to hook up with the guy in the band. She was also in the band, and they were in the bar, so it validated her wish. So that guy, there's all kinds of weird stuff like that. I like this book quite a bit. 8 Billion Genies, number 3. This is the James Harren volume. This is all hot for the same reasons, but this had a high sale of $30. And I don't think this was a ratio, was it?
Yeah, it's just a standard.
Just standard cover. Yeah. Well, this isn't the standard cover. This is the cover B, I guess, or C.
Oh.
But I think it would tell us if it was a 1 in 10, right?
Right, should, yeah.
Yeah. 8 Billion Genies, number 3 is number 3. Wow. This one's going for a high sale of $37 for raw near mint. 8 Billion Genies, number 2. at number 2, and that one's going for $40 on a raw copy.
They all look alike too. I don't understand
Yeah.
It's really weird. Just like these things getting gobbled up like this.
Yeah, 8 Billion Genies, number 2 is number 1. So it is that's why I'm asking the question, Drew. Is this like 5 speculators controlling the market, like just sucking in everything that they can and then releasing later at higher prices?
If legitimately 65 copies sold, so 65 people have purchased this. I don't know who those 65 people are, or if it was one person who bought.
Could it be 60? Could it be like 5 people that are buying all those copies up?
Why not? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just total a number. It's being tracked by however they track it from eBay. So yeah, you're definitely right. It can easily be manipulated, and we see stuff that comes out of nowhere, it spikes, and you're like, really? And
yeah, I know Challengers they bought a bunch because they believed in the property, so they got like some of the incentive covers, and they don't drive a lot of like online sales, but they had a bunch of online sales of people just buying as much 8 Billion Genies as they could get.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening, but it's very odd.
Yeah, people really believe in it. A good first issue, optioned. Amazon Prime is a property people think will follow through. I guess you add all that stuff together and think this could be something big, but it will die down. So I'd say you sell it now. But I've been wrong.
Sell now before?
I think if you can get $40 out of something you paid $2 for, I think you'd pull the trigger.
You don't think okay. I think I would wait a little bit, but who knows?
Can you think of anything outside of Walking Dead that was a good long-term hold on the indie side? Because of an option, because it was going to be a show.
No, but I can't think of many indie books that have gone up in price right before release and when the actors are announced.
Yeah.
Versus just dumping it now when
I see what you're saying.
We haven't seen any visuals or previews.
Yeah.
So I think I would wait because I think it spikes right before, and then it'll drop back down to reality
casting
after the thing's released.
The bartender is played by Justin Bieber, and then you sell.
Yeah.
What did you do? The number one that was 8 Billion Genies?
Yeah, that was 8 Billion Genies. I just kind of went 8 Billion Genies, 8 Billion Genies.
Yeah,
8 billion
you got screwed. You should have chosen the runners up. They're a little more interesting. At rank 11, Star Wars: The Mandalorian number 1. This is the Lineal Francis U 1 in 50.
Did you go deep on that, or what did you do?
I went with I don't do ratio variants, but I bought 2. I bought the photo cover, and I bought the lightsaber cover, or the action figure cover. So
Can I ask you a question, just because I don't know the answer, and I've never seen you answer this, but when you and Kyle pick something, is that a guaranteed buy, or is that something that you would recommend but you didn't buy?
Almost, I would say 90% of the time I buy the things that I recommend.
Yeah.
And or Kyle recommends. But sometimes it's not a great week, and we're like, well, this is the best we can. This is our best pick, and then we're like, not really. We're wishy-washy on it, and we don't buy it for ourselves.
Okay.
But I would say 90% of the time, if we recommend it,
you buy it.
We've either already pre-ordered it or we buy it on FOC.
Gotcha. That looks like a Tululu Tay cover on number 12. No, that's a Frizen.
Oh, 8 billion Genies number 1, a Jenny Frizen and Steve Seeley. Let me look at that one.
God, that's a beautiful cover. I like that.
Yeah, that was one I really liked. I really liked that cover. I have that one.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, $20. I better save it. David Aja at rank 13 with Star Wars Mandalorian number 1. So another ratio variant, $25, sold 46 copies. The failsafe design cover for Batman 25. This is the cover M. So we're going deep on covers for Batman 125. Not my favorite of those.
Yeah, I don't like it.
35 copies sold, high sale 20. The Declan Shalvey 8 Billion Genies number 1. I like this cover, but I like the other ones more, so I didn't get this one.
I like number 12. You do have that one, right? The one with the.
Yes, I have that one. Yeah, I like
nice.
Jenny Frizen a lot.
I don't, because I find her art to look the same
for the most part
on a lot of things, but this one doesn't. This one's going out of her design pattern, and that's why I like it so much.
Did you like the Love Everlasting cover that she did?
I did not go for that one. I went for the Western one.
Okay.
Because I love the Western one, and it was like a classic kissing, like a cowboy kissing a cowgirl. It just looked brilliant.
I liked hers. It was just looked like a distressed cover of a old romance novel, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm down for that. That's pretty awesome. At rank 16, we got Ultimate Fallout 4. 20 more copies of this sold. The first Miles Morales. High sale of $3,100 for a CGC 98.
So that's a quality price right there. We got the Jock foil variant for Batman 125. This one didn't reproduce that well in the picture, but I'm sure it looks
I like
nice.
the design though, yellow, and then it kind of looks like a bat.
Yeah.
And Batman's in the center, but his cape looks like bat wings.
Yeah. At rank 18, we have X-Men #1 from 1991, the old Jim Lee book.
How about that? Spawn is there, and now X-Men.
Right?
Rob Liefeld's New Mutants 98. There you go.
Yeah, everything you need. 23 copies of this sold. High sale of 122 for a CGC 98. I don't know why this one, the Magneto one, is selling, but it is. Rank 19, we have X-Men Hellfire Gala #1, the Adam Hughes 1 in 50. Hellfire Gala really caught on, didn't it?
I haven't read it yet, but I went with cover A. I don't have either one of these.
It's a pretty cover, but it's 1 in 50. I wasn't ever going to spend that.
I actually
18
like the
copies
White
sold.
Queen better, but
Yeah, that was good as well. And at rank 20, rounding them out, is another Hellfire Gala. This is the Art Adams 1 in 25. Sold 27 copies at about $30 for raw. Pretty stuff. All right.
That's good.
Now it's time for our sneak peek at next week. We're going to start with the DC and smaller publishers of Lunar.
All right, I have that.
Batman Fortress looks really good. That's been fun. I've enjoyed that. Different take on Batman.
This was what week again?
Oh, 7/26.
Okay.
Comics coming out on the 26th. The first Blink from by Chris Sabella. This is a Oni Press book.
That's going to be good. I like Chris Sabella.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Plus,
good
he
too.
has that wonderful Zola pet bull that I just love to see his pictures of his dog.
Oh, okay.
I'm a pet bull guy, so I just love that breed.
Very misunderstood breed.
Yeah.
There's
DC
more...
Mech cover B the Dan Mora looks really cool.
I think it's going to do well.
If you're into mech,
I think I think
these design covers people tend to like.
Yeah, people like the design covers, and I think this one will resonate. And it's independently orderable. I think it'll do really well.
The Matina Deathstroke's pretty nice. It's really dark, but it looks the reflection that's on the other side of his dark side of the helmet is awesome looking.
Yeah, that's some nice Photoshop skills right there.
Yeah, it looks great.
I love these Lee Bermejo's detective.
Yeah, he's that new Batman book that he's doing based on his covers is going to be interesting because he's trying to tell a story through his covers.
Are the bats over Batman's shoulder in the shape of a bat? Kind of. Yeah, it looks like they are.
Yeah, they are. The one that's in the sun, yeah. The sun's rising, it looks like.
Pretty nice. He just always looks like he's ready for combat, man. He just got his outfits are always really leathery.
It'd be interesting to see like sometimes you can get a video of like Todd McFarlane drawing something and to see what Bermejo's process is, you know.
I would like to see that.
I'd like to see that. And J.H. Williams, for you J.H. Williams fans, he's doing a cover C.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see that style. There it is.
Yeah, he's very good with like panel layouts and creative things. I have Honcho #1, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
I don't know how I have it. Oh, this is volume 2. That's why. I wonder if they're re-coming out with volume 1 at the same time.
No, there's volume 1's right there too. Volume 1 of 2. As a CEX comic, that's Andy Schmidt's label, right? They've been putting out a lot
Comic
lately.
Book Experience.
Yeah.
I like the name because it's like sex, but it's Comic Book Experience.
Yeah, they've really, really amped up their production.
Yeah. They're expensive though. Like I think they're like $7.90. Their issues are
That's only $3.99.
not your standard. Oh, am I looking at the wrong one?
The Macabre Motel is only $3.99.
Oh, I was looking at Honcho with 7.
Oh yeah, it's 64 pages though. It's a double. I can live with that if it's double, two issues.
Ooh, we get the Superman Mark Russell book this week. Superman Space Age.
Yeah. I was excited about that. Mike, speaking of stylized art, Mike Allred.
Yeah. I like the Steve Rude one better, but
yeah,
I like Steve Rude's stuff.
$10, damn.
I like Allred too. He's an interesting character for sure.
Yeah.
He actually plays like guitar really well because I went to like a after con rock party at Hard Rock Cafe, or the Hard Rock Cafe that was in Denver, and he was playing guitar and he was really good. Task Force Z #10. That's the other book I am reading for DC Spotlight. I gotta get caught up on.
Very nice. I'm excited for Whiteout. Never read that the first time around, but
that was made into a movie too.
And was it called Whiteout?
Yeah, you can watch it. Young Justice Targets. If you're a fan of the cartoon, this is probably for you. Wrong Earth, Zatanna, The Jewel of the Gravesend. It's one of those all ages young adult books.
Yeah. I try to. Some of those are work for me though. They're not bad, but I try not to read too many of them. Slide over to Image. We're getting Deadly Class 54. Pretty close to the end. Going to miss that one. There's the first trade of Gunslinger Spawn. You recommend that? You said that's a good one.
I would if you gotta like Spawn and if you like westerns, because this guy was pulled out of time and he's not a friend of Spawn. Like he doesn't fear anybody, so he's kind of interesting. He wants to get back home to a time before his wife's death, and that's what his motivation is, and that's why he's conflicting with Spawn, because Spawn can open up these portals between heaven and hell and time, and they all have interest. Heaven and hell both have interest in Spawn, and Spawn's kind of like in the middle. And angels aren't always good.
on a scale of 1 to 10 Jonah Hexes, how many Jonah Hexes would you give it?
Artistically, I'd give it 10, but right. In terms of Jonah Hex, man, there's not too many Western comics
right.
that compete with Jonah Hex. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
That's the top of the.
That's the top of the heap. So
you pick the top of the heap. So
Right.
I would say it's like a 7.
7. That's
The
good
Jonah
though.
Hex is a 10. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like 1 to 10 in Sergeant Rocks. For a war comic, it's kind of the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Jonah Hex, Sergeant Rock. That's like the top of the heap. How close is it to those? But I like genre comics. It's just they gotta hit the right buttons.
Yeah, I like westerns. I buy a lot of them from Kickstarter. That and Jungle Comics, but
You don't like war comics as much as I do, I don't think.
well,
Sounds
I
like
love war comics. I will
so,
buy any war comic.
okay. I'm wrong
I,
then.
I don't buy a lot of the expensive like books from Dead Reckoning, but I will buy a lot of war comics. I will say I'm not a Kirk Spencer, but
Yeah.
I love war comics, especially DC war comics. If you give me like Sergeant Rock, GI Combat, Unknown Soldier,
Right.
Enemy Ace, I eat that stuff up.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So
And I'm still kind of upset. We got that little bitty backup of a Tom King doing Sergeant Rock, and I was like, just a little taste, and I was like, okay, let's do some of this.
yeah,
And then that
that
was
was in
it.
the Walmart book, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And why we haven't gone back and I don't know what's going on. Maybe
It's I think it's
licensing.
2 things. No, I think it's they they're hesitant to do a World War II Nazi book. I think that's one reason, and the other reason is they don't think it would sell enough to warrant doing it. They put it out there, I think, just to keep the license alive. But
Right. So give me a one shot. Just give me a one shot. Just
they are giving us one soon. I mean,
dust
it's
it
written
off.
by Bruce Campbell, and he's fighting zombies.
Oh
but,
yeah, that doesn't count. That does not
they're
count.
probably zombie Nazis. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that. I forgot about that. I blocked that out of my memory already. I saw that last week. I was like, no, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Still Sergeant Rock. I mean, we've had Sergeant Rock leading the Suicide Squad at one point too.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of there. Yeah, you're right. If I want old school World War II, Easy Company. That's too much to ask, I guess.
It is. It makes it tough for them to. It's all dollars. If maybe they
Yeah.
team him up with Batman, they'll give it a try.
Yeah.
It's tough though to be a publisher. Think about reporting to your boss how much profit you made on something, and it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Like you're graded on that. Like you're judged.
That's why you'd probably put
ideas.
Batman. You'd put 20 Batman books out because
Yeah.
they're all profitable.
And you're like, well, I need that check for my family, right?
Right.
I want to keep my job.
Back in the day when everything was returnable,
it seems like every time they do a Legion book, or things that have like these cult followings, a Legion or Sergeant Rock or anything,
JSA.
There's that small minority that shows up, and that's not enough. I bought like 10 copies of that hardcover of Sergeant Rock that came out, thinking, well, I gotta support this somehow, so it gets published. So I'll buy 10 copies of it because I wanted it so bad.
Right.
But I still don't think they made a lot of money off of it, even though I bought 10 copies. And I don't buy a lot of duplicates for hardcovers because they're expensive.
So
that's how much I like Sergeant Rock.
So you like, I did not buy 10 copies of that hardcover. So
yeah,
that you win. You win.
What are we on?
Boom. We're on Boom.
All right, Boom shakalaka. Vampire Slayer. if you're into Buffy. I really do like that cover B blood red variant. That looks cool.
Yeah.
That looks like Francesco Francavilla.
It does.
Uh,
Is it?
I don't know. I didn't click on the.
It is Francesco Francavilla. Why
That's
why
good.
doesn't he work on Afterlife with Archie? Get back to work on Afterlife with
Yeah.
Archie.
Archie's a mess. That's why they only publish one shots now because of fandom. I think when they try to go down the Kickstarter just too early. Now everybody's doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they got their
They
asses
tried.
whipped
They
for
got
trying.
their asses whooped. All
Yeah.
the stores went against them. Everyone went against them, and
Yeah.
now everybody's doing it. Is that just bad timing or what?
Yeah, you can't be ahead of your
It's
time.
terrible.
I'm all the way down to Marvel unless you've got something along the way.
No, I think I'm good with going down to Marvel.
Like I said, there's Amazing number 6. I've really been enjoying this new run.
It's an expensive one. I know Amazing.
This is actually 900, right?
Well, no, I just went to the comic store. Why would I have 900 early? Is that?
Yep, 900.
Wow, I have it now. How does that happen?
Which cover?
The cover A.
Nice.
That's weird.
I'm on the phone with I'm reporting your LCS right now. Violating street date. Are we on the right?
Weird.
Are we on the right
It's
day?
weird that they would have gotten it early though.
It's so early, right?
It's not a holiday. Usually you only get it like DC. I can see because that comes early. Do you know what I mean? That's usually like 4 or 5 days early.
I think didn't
Marvel
Eric
arrives
say something
on
about how
Tuesday.
sometimes he gets stuff early?
I don't know.
Books 2 weeks early, and then sometimes they skip a week. I thought he was talking about DC, but he might have been talking about Penguin Random House too.
So what was going through my brain, Drew, is why am I going to spend $9.99 again? I already just spent it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh no, that's the same issue.
Is it a thick one at least?
Oh, it's a thick beast. It's square bound.
Nice. 900. How many more relaunches at number 1 will we get before they get to 1,000? I say 2.
Well, the legacy number is usually legit because if you look at the Marvel covers, Amazing's fantasy, no, not true. But Spider-Man and like when Moon Knight and She-Hulk hit it, if you go to the back page of the comic book, it shows you how they got there. So it'll say, yeah, it includes every volume, every miniseries, everything.
Right. But Amazing Fantasy was bullshit.
Yeah, but they've done issues 1 million before and 1,000, so it kind of breaks the mold.
Yeah, you're a comic apologist.
I'm gonna put out the Guesser 1000 and just
you would
put it out there.
You would.
Just for spite.
The Drew tier. This one is 1,000. You see.
There you go.
Gambit number 1.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Should be fun.
This is the one they called
This is Chris Claremont writing again, so
America's favorite X-Men.
How wordy he is.
I'll probably check this out. I like solo X books better than team X books.
He used to be one of my favorite, just because I like from the cartoon.
Yeah.
I just thought his Cajun accent, and I just thought he would this jacket that just sits over his costume was cool as hell. Iron Cat looks cool.
I enjoyed the first one a lot, but it's a lot like Black Cat,
It's McKay.
He's writing Moon Knight, writing this. He's a good writer, so.
Yeah, and Black Cat was in it, so it was very, very reminiscent of that book. So maybe Black Cat won't be in this next issue, so we'll see. It was really good though.
Wild Cards #1, a bunch of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like that Venom Kyle Hotz cover. Oh my God, I love his art. I don't usually get cover Bs, but I might have to get this one.
It might put you over the top.
I love this guy. He's very much from the Kelly Jones school.
Oh.
He's just he's usually a horror artist, and I just love his rendering there. Sometimes artists just draw you in.
Yeah.
It's real weird with like Ant-Man #1 is out too, and I love Al Ewing like in some things he does, and other things I don't. So it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll.
Like I thought Immortal Hulk was like one of my favorite reads ever, and then I read his Defenders, and I was very disappointed.
Yep.
And some of his X-Men stuff has just been okay, and Sword, like I've read it all, but he's like 50% like stuff I like, and I don't know how it could be coming out of the same guy.
I don't get it either. I feel the same way though.
Ooh, Wolverine patch. God, I love this stuff. This is my favorite Wolverine kind of era.
I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I thought I'd like it a lot more than I did.
Oh, I'm even reading the old stuff right now. I love this era.
Sent you down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, I'm reading the Epic collection.
Cool.
Of that era. Dynamite. Are you gonna do the wild cards?
No.
I'm gonna try it. I know they're novel based, but I'm gonna try it because it's like a superhero novel.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
It's been done before, so it's not a spec thing.
Right.
That's a good jumping on point if you want to try something.
Avatar is collecting all the Dan the Unharmables pretty cheap.
Did you read that?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Oh God, I love Dan the Unharmable. Oh,
I was so all in on Avatar back then. I read everything and I loved everything they ever did, and I don't know what happened to them, but I loved their stuff.
Well, they had like Garth Ennis, and like they had like the best writers, Alan Moore, and then they had those European artists that were so hyper detailed.
I don't know
what beautiful.
It was a perfect match, but
yeah,
I don't know what happened. People must not have gravitated to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I love
the only thing I could think of is they're adult oriented and violent and sexual, and I don't know if that appeals to a mass audience.
I don't know how they're in business right now. I mean, it's got to be like one guy.
Well, that's the same thing. It's some guy selling out of his garage the inventory.
That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah, and it's happening on Boundless too. So it's Avatar and Boundless, which is the same company.
Yeah.
So
they've got to be down to a skeleton crew.
But if anybody hasn't gotten down the Unharmable, they should jump in on that. That's so good.
Yeah, it's $20 for 6 issues.
Right, and you can get both bundles in this pack. That was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the cross and I was like, oh, that's pretty good too. I might have to jump in and get all those crossed. I imagine at some point they're going to be blown out, like really cheap.
I think I missed something. I missed the Gilliam March Vampirilla Year 1. Damn it.
Where's this?
Oh, it's the Dynamite. I love Gilliam March. He's
I do too.
One of my favorite. And he's got a
What's he
A
doing?
Vampirella Year 1 cover.
Oh.
Oh, damn. I think I missed that on that boat.
So that's back up in Dynamite.
Yeah.
Vampirella Year 1.
Cover D.
Oh, I thought Gillum was writing it. He's just
No,
doing.
he's doing the art. Just the cover. It's Christopher Priest still.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
Well,
gonna.
if he was doing interiors, oh my God.
Right, right. That's what intrigued me.
Yeah.
Did you like Laura?
I loved it. I love the Laura part more than the other stories though.
What about
Like,
his
because you know
his
how it was
autobiography?
Laura and other stories. That was interesting. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like I bought some of his other books from European books, like the hardcovers,
Yeah.
and he's really good at not just art but storytelling.
Oh, I
Like
mean, I
he's
discovered
he's
him
incredible.
through Carmen, so I came late to the party, but
Oh yeah, I've been getting his stuff forever.
yeah, it's really
He
good.
used to work for DC doing Gotham City Sirens, and his interiors, oh my God, like they're just brilliant. It was before New 52 that he
There's
was doing it.
there's Lead City number 4. I'm gonna
Oh
have to
yeah, it's
track
so
this
good.
down. I'm gonna have to track this
It's
down.
like it starts off as like a typical Western, okay? The guy's wife is dying. He's on a wagon train and they're heading out west, and it's just him, his wife, and his little boy, and she gets sick, and he's like, okay, there's two towns. Why are they right next to each other? And he goes to one town, and all he sees like is shell casings everywhere, and he's like, what the hell? There's no doctor, there's no nothing, and there's some guy, and they're like cleaning up the bullets, and he goes, go next to the next town. There's a doctor in there, and he's like, he's charging ridiculous values. He doesn't have any money to pay this guy, and he finds out that there's this like huge gunfight that happens in this town where they just have all the best gunfighters go kill each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a free for all fight club in there. It's crazy.
So how many Jonah Hexes does Lead City get?
I think as a Western, it works better than Gunslinger Spawn because Gunslinger Spawn is
Right.
in current time. I would say 8 out of 10. Like it,
Man, that's
because
close.
it's kind of unique. Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen a Western do this weird thing. I like it.
Yeah, I'm
Good
gonna have to
stuff.
check that out.
So we're back at going through the
Yeah, we're in the back half.
crossed bag set. Ooh, there's the book that I want. And I have to do some research on this band, but I watched a couple of YouTube videos. But I like this Cradle of Filth number
Yeah.
1 from Opus Comics. And look at the price on it. Isn't that unique?
What is it?
$666. $6.66.
Very good.
That's the
Nice.
number of the beast.
I couldn't even read the title, so I just skimmed right over that. Cradle
Yeah.
of Filth, 666.
It
That's
sounds
awesome.
interesting. And in this ruined halls of this city lie an occult history, sealed records, and cursed artifacts. This unholy archive explores the far corners of Cradle of Filth's musical legacy, a vast universe of ageless vampires, mythical creatures, and vengeful gods. With this hidden vault, we revisit the succubus and the nemesis in stories from all-star roster of comics talent. So it's going to be like a sci-fi horror anthology.
Interesting.
And I didn't even know about this band. Like they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, I've heard their
And
stuff.
I have not heard of their stuff, but they're like a little harder core metal than I usually go.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. I liked what I was hearing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Opus Comics has Crystal Planet #2. Looking forward to reading that one too.
I like all this pre-code stuff that's getting collected.
Oh yeah, I'm buying one of them. I'm buying the
The
Black
Combat,
Hawk. Not Combat, but I'm buying the Black Hawk.
the Black Hawk. That's the art book.
No, it's the PS art book, but
Oh, okay.
it's actually comics.
Oh, okay.
PS art books takes all of the public domain available product that they can find, like that they can put together, and then they publish it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The Beyond collection looks pretty interesting.
See the Planet PS art books, Planet Comics.
Yeah.
That's where that Planet Comics came from. The Antarctic one.
Right.
That we were just talking about.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I bought a couple of these. They're really dense, and they're kind of like a sci-fi Tales from the Crypt, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, just sci-fi stories.
Yeah, I mean, I like them because I like if you had these original comics, those are like platinum age, right?
Yeah.
They'd be pretty valuable. And they're really neat, interesting reads. Pre-code stuff is really interesting. There's Eerie Comics #1 magazine. That looks pretty interesting too.
Yeah, these I want so bad because the original magazines are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But they're a lot of money for one magazine, like $16.99. It's a
Some
lot.
magazines are nowadays. Magazines are ridiculous.
Yeah, I still like the prices for like Back Issue magazine, and the ones from Tomorrow's. They're quite affordable.
Are they under 10 still?
Yeah, $9.99.
Okay.
But yeah, I know Kirk is buying this Combat one for sure.
Yeah.
And Black Hawk is my favorite DC War book. Like, he'll go with Rock, and I'll go with Black Hawk.
Yeah, I go with Rock too.
I love these Black Hawk comics.
But I don't know. I haven't revisited all my old Sergeant Rock lately, so it might not hold up. I don't know.
It holds up if your mind can. If you liked it then, you'll like it.
I loved it then. I wore them out. Like, I'd read them over and over again. That's the weird thing.
I don't got anything else in this section.
Okay.
It seems like PSR Books is publishing their like 5 months worth of books in 1 month, in one day.
Yeah, there's tons, right?
I would hate for like if I was buying this at the store and all of them showed up, because if I was collecting like 5 or 6 of them, because they're all coming out.
Yeah, I don't like when they do that. I mean, they need to spread this stuff out so you can, or maybe they just think like the people that want this stuff want it all, and they want it all. I don't know.
I don't think they're catering to that. I think they're catering. Oh, somebody wants Planet Comics, or they're into war books, or
they're not. No, yeah, that's true. Get them all out in time for.
If I was filthy rich, I would buy them all. Just because I think these are fantastic. I only have a couple of them, but you can see they're quite expensive.
Yes, they are very expensive.
You're dropping $30, and the discount on this publisher isn't as great as some of the other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm going to guess Cradle of Filth is your pick of the week?
Yeah, Cradle of Filth is my pick of the week. I did the research, and I like what I've been like 3 for 3 on Opus Comics. Like, I didn't know what to expect, and they exceeded all my expectations. So yeah, I want to go with Cradle of Filth.
I'm going to go with Oni Press's Blink by Chris Sabella.
That's a good choice, because I know you're going to get a good story. I
Yeah.
don't know if it'll be worth a lot of money, but I know he's going to deliver.
Right.
He's going to deliver the fun. I can guarantee that.
Exactly. And sometimes we go for fun over profit, right? So.
And I don't think Cradle of Filth is, if anything drives it, it'll be the fan base of Cradle of Filth, and the fact that this might be the first comic that's $6.66. The number of beast.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the demon on this one.
Well, I'm hoping my media server can handle a 3.5 hour podcast from me, because I don't usually ours aren't usually this long, but I do appreciate your time. This is like a Geek Brunch light.
It's pretty long.
Yeah.
But in the last case that I came on, I think it was my fault. And this one, I think you edged a lot of those conversations.
I had a lot to.
You were as guilty as me.
I hadn't talked to you forever, and I had a lot on my mind, so we jumped around. So hopefully the listeners enjoyed it. I really enjoyed having you on. I appreciate it very much. And we if we're lucky enough, we're going to get you back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Do you need to tell the listeners anything before we go?
No, I think I did it all.
You covered it all?
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll put some links in the show notes.
Your brother's having a good time.
Yeah, I do too. He's out west. He might be. He'll show up at your house. I'll text him your address. He could swing by.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it's the good folks at Comics for Fun and Profit reminding you that nobody Patreons like we Patreon. So join us at C4FAP and go over to Patreon/ComicsFunProfit and sign up at a level of your choosing. There's various tiers with various goodies for you. Something that everyone gets at any level is you get to be a part of our Slack channel community, and you get early and ad-free access to all our episodes. But wait, there's more. So go over to Patreon/ComicsFunProfit and check out all we have to offer. We urge you, sign up today.